I think there's a profound and enduring beauty in simplicity, in clarity. When we think of the Fractal F, it's so much more than just a pink F. It's a remarkable visual design achievement. I think it truly represents a complete revolution in the way a company's story can be encapsulated in such a small but impactful way. Every detail was specifically engineered to bring the vision of Fractal to life. Everything from the shade of pink to the boldness of the lettering took us months of laborious work. We worked intensely with some of the most talented visual design minds from all over the world in order to even have a chance to pull off this ambitious feat. The result is something with a degree of elegance, beauty, and robustness that even we never dreamed of. One of the things we're most proud of here at Fractal is our immaculate attention to detail, no matter how subtle. For example, you may not have noticed that the F in the logo actually stands for Fractal. And I think that's just one of the many absolutely brilliant little details that often goes underappreciated. But we don't do things for clout. We do things because they matter. Despite everyone telling us it couldn't be done, we persevered and managed to pull it off. Fractal is all about letting quality speak for itself and pushing beyond the limits of what we thought was possible. What we achieved here, I don't think anyone has really done before. This is what Web3 is all about, and we're leading the charge. Okay. Pretty good?
Yes, you really deadpan the good ones that matter.
All right.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Fractal Cup from EVIO, number one of it all. My name is Keg and I'm joined by Jim Basco, and we have a heck of a show happening today.
Yeah, I think you guys saw co-founder of Fractal himself, Justin, put it aptly himself there on the cutting edge of things, and that video was really funny. Actually, I love the direction that they took on that. So, Keg, yeah, we've got a lot of action today. Of course, we're going to be playing all the way up to our top 8 of competition throughout all of today. And of course, the top 8 of competition will actually take place tomorrow. So it'll be best of threes, single elim all the way through. And I think everyone's going to be playing for their share of $10,000 today, man.
It's a lot of money, and 256 teams should be coming in here to see who can get the lion's share of that 10,000. I mean, holy. And EVIO is not a game that you normally hear about either, right? It's a relatively new game, so you have to take all of your FPS knowledge from other games and implement it into a brand new system. So I would say, probably of almost any EVIO tournament that we see, this might be the most even one we've ever had.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got teams competing from all around the world, and we've got them competing across global servers. Plus, if you've never heard of the game, if you've never seen the game, you'll be enticed if you're a fan of something like Halo or like Quake, something like Overwatch. They're much shorter, much quicker, much fast-paced game than something like...
We had to extend the time for the tournament.
Yeah, even, exactly. Like, it's really quick, it's an ability-based shooter, and it rewards people that can aim well. So you're going to see that all throughout the day today. Of course, lots of classics like rocket launchers, revolvers, snipers, little abilities like blinks and impulse nades. Going to be spicing things up for sure. And we're not really sure what to expect because the level of competition, like you said, this is one of the first, if not the first, actual EVIO tournament. So we could see some massive stomps. We could see some really tight games. It's going to be all over the place.
Yeah, I think the words we don't know is going to be happening a lot in this broadcast, especially from us, because it is all brand new. But we're all discovering, we're all learning about EVIO together. And I mean, the technology behind it is fascinating in of itself. And I mean, we may even have some pro players coming into this tournament here. No, maybe not so much pro play for EVIO, but pro players from other games transferring, again, that FPS knowledge on over. I mean, they look like they could be the ones that take the 10,000, but we don't know exactly all the teams here, of course, but there might be a litany of other pros who have snuck their way in and could make at least tomorrow's matches really, really intense.
Absolutely. And of course, we do want to shout out our sponsors, Fractal. It's, of course, the Fractal Cup, brought to you by Fractal. It's a marketplace for gaming NFTs themselves. So they're assets that let you do something inside the gaming universe. So Fractal's mission themselves, if you missed that message at the top from Justin, is to create an open platform for the free exchange of digital goods. So they're doing this by partnering with the best gaming companies, launching NFTs and building tools that help them reach their customers at scale. And we've got a lot of other partners too, right, Keg?
Absolutely, of course we do. We have EVIO themselves, which is a browser-based play-to-earn first-person shooter featuring over 15 different maps, 20 different weapons, 5 game modes, and tight gameplay. And what makes it the most unique is that every player, they get a kill, they receive some of the Solana coin, which is really cool. So the more that you keep playing, the more you keep earning back, which, I mean, for the most part, when I play FPS games, it's kind of the opposite. I play and I play and I play, and then I lose money on top of it.
Yeah, it's kind of rough. So, play to earn is always a welcome change. And at this point, we want to shout out Community Gaming as well, right? They're the guys that are organizing the tournament itself. They're brought to you in part by CG, which provides tournament platform for games like Valorant, Splinterlands, PUBG Mobile, and so much more. So if you're interested in competing at a local level and then upping your game, that's the place to be. They also support a wide variety of grassroots tournaments, offering tools and guidance to organizers to help supercharge your events. Head on over to communitygaming.io to learn more. There's a lot of good stuff going on. And of course, check out their Discord server. It's always popping. And if you need people to play with, what better place to be than community gaming? So lots of fun stuff happening throughout the day. And of course, we see you guys in the Twitch chat too. Giveaways are happening throughout the day. Keg, you want to fill them in on that?
Sure, absolutely. There are so many giveaways throughout the day. Oh man, but I'm excited. So even if you're just watching and you want to get into the action, Fractal is giving away various epic and legendary whitelist tokens, among other things, in Twitch chat. So if you want to type exclamation ! Giveaway in the chat, you have a great chance to enter in. And I mean, I'm really excited. The whitelist tokens are an interesting concept. It allows you to get more of those exclusive skins that are NFT based, and they're very rare and, kind of like NFTs in themselves, one of a kind.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of good stuff going on. And of course, we'll be bringing you the action as it's happening throughout the day today. Like we said, it's best of 3 action, single elim. So if you lose that best of 3, you're unfortunately out. Tomorrow, it will be a double elim bracket once we head into our top 8. And so the games will be starting pretty soon. But just for now, we do have a quick interview video that we can throw to, and then we'll be back with the actual action from the tournament. So don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss a second of it, and we'll be right back.
What's up, guys? It's Bryson here. First, I want to say thank you to EV.io, Fractal, and the Community Gaming fam for allowing me to participate, be a part of it, and make this video. So I'm going to hop right into the questions that you guys set forth. The first one, intro. Who are you? What team are you playing for? And why are you making this video? Well, my name is Bryson. I'm an NFT gaming content creator under the Loot Squad brand in Vayner Sports. I'm going to be competing alongside 2 of my good friends from the Web2 gaming scene under the team name If We Lose, We Are Washed. So my friend Cairo came up with a memeable name for the event. We're super excited to hop into it. The game is a lot of fun. And I'm making this video because as a competitor, as somebody who's super excited about Web3, I'm competing in the EV.io Fractal Cup on Community Gaming, and you should be as well. All right, question number 2. What got you into Web3 gaming? Man, it's crazy. I was listening to a podcast about 365 days ago. It was probably a year and a month. And I was driving, listening to a podcast, heard this guy talking about Web3 games and NFTs on the blockchain. Before that, I really didn't have much experience in this space. So I went home, I dived in, started off with a game called Axie Infinity, and really just jumped in, started streaming it, playing the game, got addicted to Web3 gaming in general. And yeah, that's my origin story. So here we are now, getting ready to play EV.io and compete against some nutty gamers. But yeah, that's how I got into Web3 gaming back in April of last year. Question 3. What are you most excited for in the EV.io? All right, excuse me. Question 3. What are you most excited for in EV.io besides the fractal map? Well, I'm going to say the fractal map is fire. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty fire. But, being somebody that comes from initially Web2 gaming in the FPS scene, I'm excited to see the different gamers that, play the game. I'm excited to see the ecosystem that gets built around this amazing game. And so far, so good. We're seeing so many new players, so many different types. So I want to see the ecosystem of competitive that continues to be built. It starts with tournaments like this. It starts with looking at what's happening in Fractal Gaming, looking at what's happening with the EV.io team and how they are cultivating this competitive scene. It's only going to get bigger and better. So I'm super excited for the support that they've been giving out. And that's, where it all boils down to. EV.io, I think it has a long and bright future. So I'm excited to be a part of it. Question 4, what can we expect from you and your team in the upcoming tournament? To be quite honest, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I have no clue what you can expect. We're all hardcore gamers, Valorant, CSGO, everything in between. But, we're stepping into a new realm. We got to gel again. We got to figure out a way to find that chemistry. And hopefully it doesn't take us a couple of rounds to do that because, you don't have a couple of rounds. You got to come out and you got to bring your A game instantly. So I'm hoping that I can, carry my slack alongside my homies and we can do pretty well. We got a squad, but we're expecting to come out and we're expecting to win the tournament. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, we expect to be the best. And even if we don't have it, gelling in the first couple rounds, we got to make it happen. So I'm not going to set the expectations too high, but our intentions definitely are to come in with the mindset that we're going to win the tournament. And I'm keeping my eyes on all of you. Last word. Shout out your team. Last word. Shout out your. Okay. Last question. So lastly, I want to give a big shout out to the 2 guys that I'm competing with. I've known these guys for over 10 years in gaming. 10 years. Stein, AJL, and Cairo on Twitter. You guys are awesome. Excited to play alongside you under the team name If We Lose This, We're Washed. And also a big shout out to my mother and father. They were supporting my gaming career way back in the day when I was playing Madden on, the Xbox 360. My mother would drive me up and down the East Coast to play in these different Madden tournaments and gaming tournaments and Call of Duty tournaments. So it's excited to be back at it, excited to be in Web3 gaming. And I think we all have a bright future ahead. So again, shout out. And lastly, again, big thank you to Community Gaming for hosting the tournament. Thank you to Fractal. Thank you to EV.io for putting on an amazing tournament. And as always, guys, become the impossible.
Don't let the timer fool you. We're getting started now. Welcome back, everybody, to the Fractal Cup. Of course, EVIO. It's a new game. It's an interesting game, and it's an FPS game. We've seen so many of them in the past, and I'm really excited to see these two teams today, Jim, because apparently one of them might be full of pro players.
Yeah, it's always exciting. Of course, like we mentioned, we don't really know what the competition is going to look like in this game, and it's a global tournament. So as long as we might have pro players, but we might also have underdogs, dark horses, whatever you want to call them. We don't know who's going to be scrapping it out today. So like you said, it's an FPS game. There are options to go into third person, which I'm sure some people will be experimenting with. But if you've never played EVIO, it's kind of like Halo, kind of like Quake, kind of like these old school arena shooters. So if you're a fan of those, if you're a fan of these fast-paced games, we've got action for you all day long, and we are pretty much ready to go into the match, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe we are.
Yeah, fill us in there, and then we can hop right into the match. Lots of abilities, lots of things to fill you guys in on as the game progresses, so we'll keep you guys tabbed in on all the latest that you need to know. But if the match is ready, we can progress forward, Keg. I'm excited, dude. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We do have Shooter Shoot versus the Three Stooges. Now, the Three Stooges, we've been told, might be the ones full of pro players, but we'll have to see who the real pro is here with those opening shots. It looks like, though, doesn't quite connect immediately.
Yeah, and already you're seeing him. He picked up this sort of like revolver, this sort of sheriff gun. If you're a fan of any other tactical FPS shooters, these are weapons you can pick up on the floor that spawn in power-ups, and the power-ups themselves rotate out. So you'll see different ones spawning in and out. The pistol itself, really good. If you can land that headshot, it will be a one-shot kill, but you don't have that much health, so lots of guns do a lot of damage. You want to stay mobile, want to stay with your team.
And speaking of that, though, there were some early deaths that have occurred, but around the corner, though, we're looking at how do we even say this name?
Anomaly Poopy? Yeah, I like that.
Do we call him Anomaly, or do we call him Poopy?
I
guess it depends on
you
how
know,
well they
I
play,
want to
right?
say Anomaly, but Poopy's probably going to come out more often.
Yeah, but let's see. Oh, but I mean, we talked about the arena shooter, right? The map is so large compared to other ones we have seen, and so there's a lot of escapability. We had just seen some against Anomaly. It's a hard name to pronounce. But right on the other corner there, Banger. Oh, gets sniped away by that sheriff. I mean, it is such a strong weapon. We've been seeing a lot of these players, Jim, just gravitate over to these sheriffs, or these revolvers, because they're able to just find these one-hit kills.
It's so good. And of course, like, if you guys are not familiar with it, like we mentioned, it's a team deathmatch game, first to 50 across the span of 8 minutes. And basically, with these power-ups spawning across the map, you kind of want to play as a squad and run from power-up to power-up so that you're securing these timers. If you've ever played a game like Quake, where it's a resource-based shooter, you're kind of seeing the same thing here. But right now, the Three Stooges are taking a huge lead. They're at 10-2 over Shooter Shoot, and you saw them already, right? Earlier, they were using that impulse nade, which is that blue grenade they throw at the ground, and it sends them flying. And on top of that, they've got 2 additional jumps, plus they have a blink. So lots of mobility to get to these power-ups, and now it's just really a tale of if Shooter Shoot can try and close that gap back, because they're at 10-4 and they're trying to gain some momentum here.
Well, looks like we might be restarting the lobby. If you saw in your upper left, we did have some people not on either team joining in, so we want to make sure things are interesting, and we keep it as the same setup as we had before. But like you said, again, arena shooter, a very, very large map. There was a lot of gunplay happening towards the southern part of the map, and I loved how large everything was. But one thing I noticed, Jim, was that there were very, very little abilities used. It was all gunplay.
Yeah, really, like, they kept it super light, and even at the beginning, you saw one of them pick up that revolver, and then just kind of try to see if the enemy was taking that high ground, because unlike in other shooters, if someone takes the high ground on you in this game, you can kind of double jump up there, you can impulse nade. As long as you work together as a team, you can kind of get anywhere. So high ground, not as important as you would initially think, and the time to kill is so low too, that as long as you work together with your team, you can come out on top. And so although we only saw a little bit of that very first match, Three Stooges just working so well together. They were at like 10-4, great lead, and like you mentioned, Keg, those are the people that we're going to keep our eye out for throughout the day, because they've got some star power on that squad for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, we got to see a lot of Anomaly for a long time, right? And I like the way they maneuver themselves around. They were playing towards the environment. They were hiding away in those corners, and they snuck up on just about everybody they got into a gunfight with. So I hope that continues on. We'd only seen, like you said, like the battle rifle and the sheriff, but the revolver, but I would love to see more action coming by with like some of the more unconventional weapons. I think there's a sword in the game too, right?
Yeah, there's a katana, there's a sniper rifle, which is my personal favorite. Of course, you know, with all the mobility options in this game, if you ever played something like Overwatch and you play that Widowmaker with the rappel, like that mid-air snipe shot, you know, maybe from Halo, that's the same sort of rewarding feeling you can get in this game too. So hopefully we see some sick shots come out throughout the day. But yeah, you know, we're starting off small with the revolver and such. So maybe, you know, towards the end of games where it's like 48 and they're, you know, taking their way up towards 50, we'll start to see some BM come out with that katana, because I'm sure there's lots of opportunity for that for sure.
If I'm thinking of BM though, I'm thinking of the rocket launcher.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh no. Just so much destruction everywhere. That's going to make the team fights really difficult. I can't think of any other FPS game that I've played besides Halo that's had like a rocket launcher inside. And Halo's maps are a lot smaller than EVIO, so it's like, what kind of impact can you really find with a rocket launcher on a large map like Fractal, right? I think there might be a little bit more difficulty. That's why we are seeing the revolvers and probably soon to be the sniper rifles too. That's going to make things like the assault rifles and the rifles themselves a lot maybe more precarious. Like, it's gonna be more about spray control in those situations. But we're back into the game. Hopefully no more guests join, but it's okay. We love having spectators. But if you're gonna spectate, come into the Twitch chat instead.
Yeah, come join the party.
Look at
I love this. A little bit of rocket jumping. I was wondering about that too. Do you take self-damage? And it looks like you don't off your own rocket, so you can use that to gain that verticality, right? And try and connect a little bit of a blink there, and they're closing in from the top and the right side there. And ultimately, they opt to pull out of that fight. It was a really long range one, but what you're also seeing here on these rifles is that there is a bit of recoil, so you do have to account for that at distance, and so you want to try to take those mid-range fights with that battle rifle. It's a fully automatic weapon, but if you've got something like this, the big old sniper rifle, you can try and land those snipes, or you can get sniped back yourself.
Oh, revenging shot against Furious too. Furious had just come clean off a double kill as well. That's the only kill so far that Shoot have received. But if they can keep it going, though, looks like Moto and company, they're doing really well. But the trade ability is still there from Three Stooges' side. Banger goes down. Everyone playing close together now force Three Stooges' side. The smoke grenade goes down, and it's going to block off a lot of vision. But look at Furious. He's going to repel the smoke grenade. He's going to rotate around and try to confuse Shoot.
Yeah, I really like what they're doing here, using that smoke grenade to hold down that hallway and that sniper rifle power up. Super strong. It one-shots at any distance if you can land that headshot, and does like 90 damage, I think, to a body shot. So lots of damage. It's a devastating weapon. If you can control that, you can kind of control the pace of the game. And already, even though we did have to restart this match, Three Stooges are back at 9-5, but Shoot are trying to put up a fight here. You know, they are going back and forth with these guys.
This is a lot better of a beginning for Shoot than we had seen before the restart. They had only found 1 or 2 kills before it happened. Now, whether that was because of the guests or what, doesn't matter. Three Stooges in that time, they've almost doubled their score. They're doing so well to take these 1v1s. Sniper rifle in a hand, though, for Animali, guarding the, I believe it's the rocket launcher as well. That's a really smart idea to make sure these better weapons don't go in Shooter's favor.
Exactly, yeah, and I really like the elements of games like Quake that they've taken and implemented into this arena-style Halo shooter. Like you saw, the TP was there right above that will look like the grenade launcher, and just playing around those resources is going to be so important. So as long as you can stick together, Three Stooges opening up that gap to 16-6. We saw it at 9-5 most recently. So in the span of Shoot getting 1 kill, Three Stooges already picked up 2. It looks like 8 in total, and they're nearing an even bigger lead at 18-7 right now. Jesus.
Yeah, this is looking fantastic for Three Stooges. And again, I feel like a lot of that has to do with just them playing together and not really pushing too far. They have a little bit of a base that they use when they respawn, and they play off of that super well. They're making Shoot push into themselves, and oftentimes it works and other times it doesn't. Moto and Banger, well, they trade each other out and they find some damage, but Shoot, they haven't even found 10 kills yet, Jim. And Three Stooges, they're just mowing them down. Of course,
Yeah,
Caster's Curse. It
absolutely.
wouldn't be a tournament without Caster's Curse.
Yeah, of course. But still,
course,
you
of
know,
course.
the returns from across the map are always on point from Three Stooges. 24 to 11. They're looking so good right now, and I just love the way they play. They pepper them from afar, and then just begin this hunt around the left side, taking the high ground. And shoot or shoot, they just don't know what to do. They're trying to back up as much as possible, but the pressure from Three Stooges is too good. The nades over the side, and now with the impulse to close that distance, double jump on top. This is what you like to see with the flank here to finish out those 2 kills. 27 to 13. Three Stooges making this look easy, man.
Great aerial coverage from Anamali, just covers the entirety of the battle zone. But now, overhead fire coming by from the Three Stooges again. Shooter Shoot forced to go down. They're trying to play together, trying to take the strategies that Three Stooges brought out themselves, but it's not working out at all. So many different people coming by, but Furious wipes them all out. An early 3K, but maybe not so much. Only 20 more, and Three Stooges, they're going to look good to take this first game.
Yeah, looking really good. 31 to 14 on the board. Oh, connects with that mid-air shot. Finishes that off with the rifle there. And the impulse nade from the enemy actually sending Three Stooges forward. You love to see it, but you hate it at the same time. 33-14. Three Stooges looking so good, man.
It's that mobility with all the nades just throwing everybody from Three Stooges on the Shooter Shoot. It's a really good way to find that coverage. I do like the aeriality that Moto does have, but being taken down in a 2v1 or soon a 1v2 actually comes out on top for Furious and Anamali. And again, just playing off each other so well. I mean, remember the interview, they said it themselves, right? You know, if you don't win, you're washed. Even if it's a team name. Some of these teams with pro players, they're looking so good, Jim, and potentially now on the verge of 10 more for Three Stooges. It is a best of 3, though. It's not too late for Shoot or Shoot, but Fangerbanger does find an amazing kill.
Yeah, not too late. It may be too late in this game specifically, but like you mentioned, best of 3. Yeah, Three Stooges, I like the ideas we're seeing from them, right? Impulse Nadens with a rocket jump through the portal to go for the aggressive hunt, but Shoot or Shoot, kind of expecting it. They were ready for him to push through the TP, found that kill like you mentioned earlier, and then tried to reset there. But of course, Three Stooges with the 39 to 21 lead, make that 40 to 22. They are just looking too dominant at this point.
We gotta highlight Fangerbanger, though, because I feel like a lot of the time on the leaderboard, we've seen Fangerbanger at least find the trade. Maybe not winning the whole gunfight or the whole series, but at least getting some trade ability out. And he's been really putting Shoot or Shoot on his back. But when he goes down, it's just more and more time for Three Stooges to push up. 43 to 24 now, Jim. Things are looking good for Three Stooges to close this out, but the revolver not quite connecting those shots. Seismic Wave not recognizing in time. Another one for Arlaw. The smoke grenades are out, blocks the visibility into the sky. All these 1v1s turn into group fights, and it's working out for Three Stooges, but Shoot or Shoot, they need to find the double their kills before Three Stooges find one.
Yeah, that Deagle, that Sheriff, whatever you want to call it, just does such devastating damage.
I know.
Yeah, 3 shots and you're dead. And if you can really hit it like Arlaw's been hitting it across the map mid-air, then you're going to have a problem on your hand. 50 to 26, the first game going over to the side of Three Stooges. It is a best of 3, a single elimination. So as we head on into the next match, Three Stooges, if they can win this one, they'll be proceeding. And if not, they're going to have to head to a third map. Keg, that was dominant to say the least.
It was very, very dominant. I did like kind of the mid-game where we had seen Shoot or Shoot really have this glimpse of almost bringing it back. They found a little bit more coordination, a little bit more chemistry between their two teams. Now, I'm not too sure if any of these teams together have experience playing together as a team too, but regardless of the games they came in from, I did think that Shoot or Shoot's really warmed up from the restart going into the real game, and then just kind of kept evolving and leveling up their strategies. But Three Stooges looked amazing through and through, and as long as they can keep taking those aerial advantages and the mobility of those nades, Shoot or Shoot have to adapt somehow, and they have to start hitting more of their shots.
Yeah, it's just the level of chemistry was so good on the side of Three Stooges that, like you mentioned, maybe they haven't even been playing together all that much, but they're real mechanical skill like we're seeing right now. The impulse into the double jump, going straight into the fight. Anomaly's gonna go down, but just like that, he's able to trade back 2 for the side of Three Stooges. So that was a great trade overall. But yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. That level of coordination and execution is what we need to see come out of any team that wants to try and put up a competition against Three Stooges here.
Yeah, Furious has been a great executor for Three Stooges. Just being able to close out these fights so well, or even starting them up if you feel so inclined, but there's still one more at Seismic.
I love the way
Seismic
he's playing this wall and just melting people with that rifle, man.
runs away. Do they camp the spawn?
Oh.
It's smoked out. It looks like, yeah, Furious.
Got him with the
Right into Seismic's
smoke.
trap.
Yeah, wow. Got him with the actual smoke nade on the other side of the portal. That's always fun to see. 5-2, Three Stooges still in the lead, but it does feel a lot more back and forth this time around.
Yeah, it feels like the patience from Shooter Shoot is coming much more online. They're playing dialed back. They're not charging into Three Stooges as much as we had seen in the first map, but some people being caught off guard. Seismic Wave, I love the craftiness with the traps on the teleport there, but again, these gunfights, the overwhelming ones from Furious, I would dare say Furious has probably been the most consistent gunner in this entire server.
Yeah, he's been so good to watch, and I just love the various roles that these people have taken. Three Stooges, you keep seeing Arla, right? Always running for this deagle. He's the heavy hitter from distance. He's the marksman of the team, and of course you have someone like Furious, who's always ready to spray them down, pepper them down, and really finish out those kills. Ooh, from a distance, though, Arla picked off by Fingerbanger, and Furious returns just as quickly.
That's good. That long distance coverage no longer in play. Does make it a bit of a 2v2. I believe Moto might be struggling a little bit with connection. That's going to make things really hard for Seismic and Fenger here going into the second map. But again, if you can eliminate
Jesus.
Arlaw, at least then all the gunfights will be super up close. But Animale, I just want to see more of those nade pushes. There we go. That's one jump, no nade. But I mean, the movement from Animale has been completely precedent-setting what we should expect going into, at the very least, tomorrow.
Absolutely. Oh, uses the enemy impulse nade to
There
get
it
on
is.
top of him. You love to see it, but Seismic actually returns and finds the kill there. Anomaly trying for a lot of different things there, right? Trying for a couple of jump shots with the rifle, trying to the spray down, tries with the jumping deagle, doesn't connect on any of it. Great thoughts overall, but does go down. Three Stooges still in the lead at 14-9, but much closer of a game, and Shooter Shoot working much better together. Like, great catch there from both of them to bring it to a 14-11 game. This is the closest it's been across both games here.
Yeah, despite the issues of Moto right now, Fingerbanger and Seismic Wave are waiting for Three Stooges to push into them. This is the complete reversal of what we had seen in game number one, and it's working out well for Shooter Shoot. And Molly's trying to go for the TikTok play every single time, but in the air, Seismic Wave is waiting for it every time, and it works out well. Fingerbanger, you can see right there, takes down Animale once again, and that's more pressure on Furious to frag out. Now, he's able to succeed doing so. He's able to find one. Can he find one more?
Nice.
He does. Seismic goes down.
And you can tell they're communicating too, right? Because he's hiding
yeah.
right under that hill, just out of line of sight. And then as soon as his teammate communicates, hey, I'm going to go down, but this guy's 1 health, he peeks up, finds the kill, and is out of there. And that's exactly the discipline that Three Stooges has that you're going to need in these long team deathmatch matches, where every kill counts up to number 50. And of course, we've got Arlaw back on the Sheriff, back on the Deagle, doing damage from afar, trying to provide cover to his teammate. And there it is, finding it with the help of Anomaly Poopy down at the Seismic Wave. Gotta say, I love these names, but the score is ticking up. 23-14. Three Stooges opening it back up again.
You know, I gotta say, for the name, I think it's all Anomaly. I haven't seen any Poopy plays at all from Anomaly.
Yeah, that's true. He's been pretty good, and just consistent once again with this rifle, just finding the damage consistently. And of course, it doesn't do the most damage, it doesn't shoot the quickest, that's the SMG or the sniper rifle, but it's a good balance between the two. And if you've got some heavy hitters like Arlaw on your team dealing those chunks of damage from afar, all you need to do is hit these impulse nades, close that distance, and really just melt the team. But if you've got someone like Arlaw on your side, just melting them as well, you are going to be in a good spot. 27-15 for Three Stooges now.
Oh, Anomaly closing the gap with that distance plays right there. Not gonna find any impact though. It looks like Seismic Wave died of recklessness. I wonder how that happened. But there we go. Sheriff, Revolver, Super Gun, whatever you want to call it though. Trying to find some headshots doesn't quite succeed. Furious though, he is so good about the mow down and the spray control. It's everybody at once who falls underway. I mean, it's all 2 people, but still, another team wipe again. Three Stooges, it was close for a little bit, Jim, but they've been able to double their score in the last, 2 or 3 minutes, and
Yeah.
Shooter Shoot, they haven't found a response since then.
Yeah, that's really been it, you know, and Three Stooges keeping the pressure up, too. You just saw them go back to back, because as soon as you get one person down, there's a little bit of a respawn timer, and so it's if you can keep the pressure up on the enemy, you can keep that advantage and just keep rolling them. 33-19, Three Stooges looking so good. Shooter Shoot did have some moments of greatness throughout the game so far, but ultimately the Three Stooges get now coming from above to finish this one off onto Banger, who's gonna blink away, but ultimately goes down 35-20. Three Stooges looking so good still, man.
Yeah, keep in mind too, Shooter Shoot only have 2 people on their team. Moto got disconnected, so it is a 2v3, but all things considered, Shooter Shoot are doing a really dang good job.
Absolutely, yeah. Even better, yeah, like when you consider that they were holding that one location for so long and closing that gap so consistently. Shooter Shoot, you know, a force to be reckoned with, but like we were mentioning before, Three Stooges just have the star power on their side. They've got some experience, they've got the moves. I love the impulse nade shots and the aggression that comes out following them. You love to see it, man.
We're coming close on 10 more kills, though, for Three Stooges. This will mean, though, they move on in the bracket. Shooter Shoot, though, if they can win this next map, they can bring it to 3, maybe get Moto back, but I don't want to say the coffin's already been sealed shut, but I think a few nails may already be in. If they can take down Furious, though, that could be a good start to start cycling through these 3 players one at a time. They all fall in 1v1s. Furious does fall, but if a trade, again, Seismic Wave, again, Banger good for 2. He's attending the spawn camp, Furious, and he's doing a decent job, but he's got to stay in the air, and he's got to watch out for Arlaw, but up in the sky like a clay pigeon. He takes down Banger instead. And Furious is back, and I think he might be just like his name. I think he's not a happy camper. Might be down
Absolutely,
to end the game
that
here.
shot was so good, man, with the sniper mid-air from Arlaw. We just keep mentioning how he's the dead eye, the marksman of the team, and he just keeps paying off over and over again.
Potentially 4 more. I love the grenade movement. I would say
Yeah.
Animali's probably the best at it that we've seen so far, but imagine by the grand finals. Like, they're everywhere.
It's going to be insane, and of course, we only are just getting a glimpse of, the prowess mechanically of these players. Arlaw hitting those mid-air snipes. Oh, almost getting... He actually connects on that into the body for a lot of damage. Not going to find the kill, but Anomaly, in the end, finds it with the smoke nade. That's going to be 50-25 for the Three Stooges, and they're your first victor of our first round of the Fractal Cup, man. Wow.
Now, we've been told that maybe Three Stooges are made of pro players. It's a little difficult to tell with the names sometimes, but, I mean, whether they are or not, you would have fooled me, right? Because they played so unbelievably well. Again, the big thing that I noticed with Three Stooges was just their movement was impeccable at times. They were just able to have that aerial coverage. They had, communication, like you said, down below about tradability. They were able to coordinate these team fights so well, and, again, we're so early into that bracket that I'm really wondering what it's going to look like even into the next series.
Yeah, it's gonna be a banger all the way through. And yeah, if you're a fan of all that sick movement and everything that these players have been doing, stay tuned, right? Because we've got all the way up to top 8 level of competition today, and then tomorrow top 8 all the way to the grand finals. And of course, everybody here is competing for their share of $10,000. Keg, that is no joke. So I'm sure there's gonna be some heavy hitters from all around the globe popping up to try and stake their claim to fame here, dude. It's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild, man. But I mean, like, I've never casted EVIO before. I've never really heard of EVIO until recently. So a lot of the people in Twitch chat might be wondering what is this game? But EVIO is a browser-based play-to-earn first-person shooter featuring over 15 different maps. Now, the thing with this tournament is that we're only gonna be seeing one of those maps, called Fractal. I bet you can't guess why. But there are 20 different weapons, 5 game modes, and I mean, you just saw a really tight gameplay. I love the movability. But what makes it unique is that every time a player gets a kill, they do receive a little bit of Solana. So if you're Furious, you're looking pretty good after that game. But if you guys want to try it out too, just go to ev.io. Of course, don't click out of the stream, but go to ev.io and come try it out.
Yeah, it's browser-based. It runs on everything, so go hop in. And it's got the movement tech that you would want from any AAA shooter. So this is the game. This is the place to be. And of course, the Fractal Cup is brought to you by Fractal. It's a marketplace for gaming NFTs, durable assets that let you do something inside a gaming universe. So Fractal's actual mission is to create an open platform for the free exchange of digital goods. They do this by partnering with the best gaming companies, launching NFTs and building tools that help them reach their customers at scale. So of course, shout out to our sponsors, for making this event happen, and of course for all the competitors and viewers here today. It's been a blast so far, but we are going to take a short 5 to 7 minute break, and then we're going to get everyone sorted. We're going to get the next match rolling, and we'll be back with more action before you can even think about it. Before
you can finish an EVIO match.
Oh my god, yeah, dude. 8 minutes tops, you'll be fine. All right, with that said, we'll be right back.
I hope you liked our first series because we have even better names going into the second. My name is Keg and I'm joined by Jim once again. NFT Screenshotters is the name of one of our teams, and I think the tournament might as well end. We found our winners already.
Yeah, they are going to screenshot the victory, the actual trophy, and they're going to walk away with it. Yeah, obviously that's not how it works, but of course we are excited to bring you this next matchup because we've got games all day long leading up to the very top 8 of competition, and of course that culminates tomorrow when everybody here is playing for their share of $10,000. And already we're starting things off strong with an opening pick from that sniper from across the map. The NFT Screenshotters are now closing the distance with the impulse nades and the double. Whoa, I love that, with a grenade mid-air and the third kill to back it up. NFT Screenshotters quick 4-0 here.
I'm having like whiplash right now. Suddenly we're back in Quake. Whoa. I mean, all the movement right now has been crazy, but Bumsu has been phenomenal about it. And I wonder what's going to happen next, right? Because everyone else on the enemy team is spread out, and Xborg, they haven't found, well, okay, they almost didn't find any kills. Now they found one, but I mean, besides that, right? Holy, that beginning skirmish was incredible, and Bumsu just keeps going.
Dude, wait, this whole thing is nuts so far. The movement has just reached a new caliber. Yeah, this is ridiculous. The NFT Screenshotters are moving so quick together. X4 Quadra finding 2 quick returns in the midst of all that, but I don't think the Screenshotters are going to let up. In the middle of the smoke nade now, trying to just traverse through it, not finding much for his troubles there, and going to instead back up, try to regroup and re-engage.
All the big plays from NFT Screenshotters seem to be based around nades, whether pushing forwards or using them to escape. Oftentimes the nades are always used, and look at that, entire squad wipe. Everyone in Xborg have fallen. NFC Screenshotters, Jim, they're looking amazing right now, and even if there's not as much nades coming out right now, at least Xborg are trying to leave that space a little bit more with those nades, but it's going to be NFC Screenshotters to respect that a tiny bit, but I'm just waiting for those nades. Oh, yes, there's one.
They're just so disciplined. NFT Screenshotters just holding this ground, and they've got someone on their flank. If anybody gets too close to the Screenshotters, they have instant support. Here's the impulse nade again with the cross map movement just to get to his teammates. And as long as you stick to your teammates and you're gunning the same person, you're gonna come out on top. 12-5. NFT Screenshotters looking so good.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with NFT right now. I would love to see them go up against Three Stooges, right? For all we know, that could be grand finals. But they are just doing so well. Gotta give it to Xborg a little bit here, right? They are 3 kills away now against NFT Screenshotters. And before it was 7-0 for NFT.
Yeah, doing a fantastic job of closing that gap, and just like that, the NFT Screenshotters open it back up 15-9. They want this game, and they want it quickly. The pace of the game is just so much more frenetic than the last one that we saw. And of course, these are just options, right? You can choose your loadout. You can choose how aggressive you want to be as a 3-man squad here, and that's exactly what the Screenshotters are doing, opting for as much mobility and map presence as possible, and just tearing them up from across the sides of the map, man.
Some of these people's game sense is unbelievable. Like, how do you know that someone's going to be 180 degrees behind you across the map, right? Just unbelievable to see sometimes, and X4, they've really closed that gap. It's still a 5-kill, 4-kill difference now.
Whoosh. It's just so quick and back and forth with these frags.
Absolutely, and they're just letting NFT Screenshotters push into them and hoping they just catch them off on the landing for those nades. But cool guy Chris, we haven't talked about him yet. He's gonna fall to All Guy, and All Guy again, kind of like what we had seen from Arlon Three Stooges last game, is just playing so far away as like the marksman and just really mowing people down from a distance.
Yeah, let's see if they can keep that sort of pressure up. 21-14. We've seen Xborg Quadra close it to a 4-kill difference in a matter of seconds. So it's really anybody's game still with 4 minutes left on the clock. We are halfway through the game, and we're not even halfway through the scoreboard. So really, who knows how this one's going to end. Trying to take some pot shots here. AL guy, it's Al Guy with the Sheriff and the Deagle. Yeah, trying to do some damage, but not finding too much. And instead, trying to help his teammate out as he gets blasted to smithereens. He wants a frag for Xborg Quadra, but just like that, the Screenshotters respond with another.
Response here is going to be interesting, though, from Xborg. They had a solid chance to take over the lead, but now by nearly 10 kills, it's NFT Screenshotters to take that lead and run away with it once again. I do like what Tris Casse, I think I'm saying it right, Jim, right? Triscas?
I'm gonna have to see his name before I approve that one.
I'm not a phonetic spelling guy.
Yeah, Triscas seems about right. It could be like
Poopy.
yeah, we should have just stuck to Poopy, but Triscas sounds about right. It could be French. It could be Trica. I don't know, but you know,
French.
here they are. Here they are at 26-21, trying their best to close that gap. It is better than it was before, but the screenshotters are still in the lead, Keg.
They absolutely are, and it's all Bumsu, no breaks right now. One that really led the charge at the beginning of this game. Bumsu's quieted down a little bit, though. Really let everyone else on the team kind of find a little bit more impact here. And again, we're just seeing them dial back towards the bottom of the map. They have a lot of stronghold pressure here for rotatability. But I'm curious to see now those nades come back in line. Triscas caught off from behind, though, gets taken down by the nade from Bumsu into a double kill, no less. Really nice squad wipe again, but there's still one more now, 3 left alive. But again, 32-22 now. NFT screenshotters, this could be the very end again.
Could be the very end. Export Quadra just could make a comeback, because if they can keep that momentum up once they get that initial frag, which they have, then it's anybody's game. Finding 23, finding 24. They want more. Ooh, trying to find a midair. Great shots there. Great shots by Bumsu, and he's just been such a power player the entire game so far.
And Cool Guy Chris does have that sniper rifle.
No way
Takes
he
one out
connects.
from the sky. That's ducks the fall. Back again. Oh no! Caught off guard. Broke his ankles going 80 miles an hour.
Oh,
Smoke
you love
grenades
to
are out.
see it.
Launch pads away like an actual missile. I love what Owl Guy is doing here. He's covering so much of the map. Even if he's not going for any shots or kills, he's putting that pressure against Export Quadra. Hiding the back again, though. Triscas attempts to push forwards,
Nice.
but that revolver meets the head once again.
Jeez, great shots from Al Guy connecting across the map. Blinks into safety. Try to reload here, regen some HP, but instead will get picked off. NFT screenshotters still in a 12-point lead here. They are feeling good, and they've got this corner, right? This is where we've seen a lot of teams congregate. It's just so much map control. You've got that long distance on their spawn, plus you've got the hall to your left covered as well. So if they can maintain this position for the next minute, 55 seconds left on the clock, then they'll be good. But Export Quadra, if they want to get back into the game and have a chance of winning, they need to make a play like right now, dude.
Oh, we saw Owl Guy briefly in the third person. Looks a little different from everybody else. Might be because he bought one of those NFT skins that you can do, EVIO.
42-30. Export Quadra, 30 seconds left on the clock. Impulse. One down, there's a double jump, boom, boom. Can he connect mid-air? Finds a good couple of shots, and there's the final connection there. Al Guy looking so good, man.
Yeah, Owl Guy and Bumsu really stealing the show right now. Ducks.
Whoa.
Oh!
What? No.
Holy hell! I mean, that was impressive. Dax did a fantastic job going above the map, found a crevice to work into, and everybody else on Xborg, they're forced away into a corner because of it. We've casted FPS games before, Jim.
Right.
But never in my life have I seen aerial movement like that before.
Yeah, you know, you've got Quake, you've got Overwatch, you've got Halo, and then you've got EV.io, right? Double impulse nading up into the sky through a crevice to land right on top of his enemy and take him out. That's the kind of stuff that you love to see. And of course, the map control that we saw from NFT screenshotters just so damn good. Those first couple of skirmishes, Keg, the pace was blistering, to say the least.
I'm glad you mentioned that too, because kind of what we had seen in the previous series is that we did see that mid-round mid-game adaptability from Xborg. They were able to almost close that gap when at the beginning they hadn't even found a single kill when we had seen MT screenshotters get into the double digits. So just playing it back, going for those macro game-wide abilities of just being able to, you know, take your position, hold on to it, and allow NFT, who's already playing very aggressive, to push into you. Easy kills, right? But I mean, we also had seen at the very end Dax's movement. It only works for so long. You have to keep an eye on all. I don't even know what degree you would see on a protractor to look up in the sky to watch out for Dax. It was so impressive to see, and I feel like Xborg, they can really learn a thing or two from NFT, and I think they could implement it into this next game.
Absolutely. We're going to have to see if they do that mid-round adaptation. One thing that we did see out of NFT screenshotters, just great movement together as a team, right? Through those teleporters, onto the power-ups, whatever it was, they were trying to do it together. So teamwork at the end of the day does make the dream work. Can Export Quadra bring it back in this best of 3? Because if they can't, it's a single elim bracket, so that may be the very final time that we would see Export Quadra. So with that said, we are getting the players ready to rock and roll, and of course, as soon as we are, we will hop into that match. But man, I just loved seeing more of the sniper this time around, dude. That was great.
Yeah, I think seeing the more of the sniper in conjunction with the smoke grenades, I thought was really nice to see, because you know the aerial movement that we've been talking about and glamoring about this whole time is really nice, but I like being able to deny space too, and I think the smoke grenades did a great job at that. It was Arla in the previous series who I believe, along with at times it was Dax as well early on, would just hide in the smokes and wait for anybody on Xborg to push up, and they would get punished instantaneously. But once we had seen a little bit more of that adjustment for Dax to play snipers and more of a layback role, he still used those smoke grenades to watch out for the spacing and watch around the edges of it to see who on the enemy team moves around and just snipes them away.
Yeah, just such great control, and of course you can change your loadout too, so you can double up on impulse nades if you want a frag grenade, if you want to smoke, whatever it is. But also, we did want to mention for anybody that's watching on Twitch, you can get in on the action too. You can go right now and play on ev.io, but if you want to continue watching and hop in our giveaway in the Twitch chat, make sure you just type in !giveaway. Fractal is actually giving away various epic and legendary whitelist tokens, amongst other things, in the Twitch chat. So once again, !giveaway in the Twitch chat to make sure you enter. So lots of great stuff there, and of course, shout outs to Fractal for sponsoring this Fractal Cup with EVIO and Community Gaming. It's been great so far, and like we said, we're gonna go all the way to the top 8 of competition today, with the top 8 taking place tomorrow, and everybody playing for $10,000 freaking dollars, man. That's a huge prize pool.
It's unbelievable, right? This is the future. This is the technology that we have right now, and it's only going to keep evolving more. But if you're like me and you don't know the most when it comes to crypto and NFTs and stuff like that, EVIO is the perfect place to get started, right? And they have something interesting with EV too. They have something called, the minting that goes along with NFT and crypto, right? So EVIO is a play-to-earn ability shooter made by one of the most respected names in web gaming, which is Addicting Games. Believe me, when I was in Boy Scouts, I played that every day. But EVIO is also minting its first NFT collection on the Fractal launchpad on May 11th. Now, I'm not a calendarologist, but I can tell you that's a few days from now. But if you want to learn more about it, you can go to fractal.is/EV. And from the sounds, it sounds like we're just about ready to go in. So if you want to mint yourself away, why not do it now with EVIO and join these amazing people in the next tournament?
Yeah, Bumsu already starting things off, trying with that sniper on the high ground there, but instead getting nailed by Export Quadra and their sheriff, that Deagle from long range, finding value. And again, Export Quadra, this is the first time in this series so far that we've seen them in the lead, 2-0. Can they keep it up, Keg?
Yeah, and it feels like the response here is that Bumsu and company, they're waiting to see if Xborg want to push in against them. And so far, the answer's been yes. The early nade does come by, does create some spacing for Bumsu, but he's targeting against Triscast, and he's got to back away, join with the rest of his teammates, but there was someone on the other side. It was crew guy Chris, who was able to just push up and lay so much pressure. If Xborg can keep doing this, Jim, they could bring this to a third game.
Absolutely, looking so good. But of course, NFT screenshotters too, just these little skirmishes that they're taking. I love what Bumsu's doing here. He's got the burst rifle, right? So he's just peeking little bits at a time, doing massive damage, and trying to stay evasive as heck, because what NFT screenshotters need to do is get Export Quadra split up so that they can take these isolated fights just like that and coordinate with their teams. And now it's only a 3-point game. Export Quadra still in the lead at 9, but the screenshotters are just hot on their tail at 6 and trying to close in with 6 minutes and 15 seconds left on that clock.
It's tough to spread up the teams, though. It's definitely a great strategy, and it's definitely what's being done, but the respawn timer is so low in this game that it can be tough to coordinate things sometimes and try to play around the spawns. I like the early nade, though. Again, Bumsu brings his way up, has the smoke grenade to change up his positioning, too, and keeps Nevd off guard. Nevd, though, nothing gets past him, gets the double kill against Bumsu, and All Guy removes away a lot of NFT screenshotters, but the gap has been closed. It's 12-11.
Yeah, I love, you know, when you're looking at the map and we saw Bumsu just exploiting those cracks, which aren't exploits, they're game design, it's map design. You've seen other players take advantage of it as well, just impulsing off the spawn, trying to get into the action as quick as possible. That's what you want to do. It's a 12-12 game. We're tied up here. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock, and NFT screenshotters playing this patient style have come out on top. They've taken the lead with 2 more.
Yeah, taking that lead now, NFT Screenshotters, they're not going to want to let go of it. There's only 5 minutes left on the clock. NFT Screenshotters, they've been going for the same strategy this entire game. They're hiding in this small little corner of the map. They have that mobility, again, to play up on top. Bumsu's been using that as a launching pad quite a bit. But now Xborg are pushing into it. They're going to be dialed back as well. And like you talked about in the first game, Jim, it goes to show about how great the momentum can be in this game. You can change it to whatever you want it to be. And right now, NFT Screenshotters, they say, no, we're playing slow.
I love that they slowed it down here, and they're waiting for their health regens as well. Excuse me. So that once they do take one skirmish and they are low on health, they can try and back up, try to get back to 100 HP, and then re-up at it again. NFT Screenshotters, okay, they've regrouped with the team. This is going to be a 3-on-3 here. This is going to be an important fight. It could swing all the way back into the favor of Export Quadra, but with the power-ups on the sides of NFT Screenshotters, Export Quadra still find one to open things up. Sniper in hand, he's looking for a dome, hunting from the top ground. He's not going to find anything, and instead drops back down to his teammate, and it's still a 3-point game. We're still neck and neck here.
Yeah, we haven't seen Bumsu use that sniper rifle just yet. It's been nothing but the burst all day, every day, but he's going to push himself up.
Oh.
Doesn't take out the sniper just yet. He's going to remain, keeping moving around, goes on top of a little island. Does have that sniper rifle. He can't find the shot on the Chris. They're able to keep away with their life. Cool Guy Chris has been hiding behind that corner for a little while. I think something might be up in this. Could be a 2v3.
It very well could be, yeah. This is a very unconventional strategy from him, but Bumsu already, he hops back into the fight, helps his teammate in Tricos, and then gets on out of there. You love to see it. And of course, on the tail end there, NFT Screenshotters, still a 4-point game. It is very, very close here, but once again, Bumsu closes that distance, helps out his teammate, and regroups again. They are slowly but surely expanding that gap here.
It still throws me in for a loop every time we see someone go so high into the air. I'm not used to it, but Triscast loses so much HP immediately, and Bumsu's looking to finish the job. Knows about the low health, knows they connect to the shot through the smoke grenade. All guys trying to help out Bumsu, but the other side here is Triscast trying to find those revenging shots, waiting for the heal up.
Oh, nice.
An opportunity to do so, but with 6 HP in a dream, they fall anyways, all thanks to All Guy.
Yeah, Triscast doing a good job of, he was being hunted by Bumsu, knew he was being hunted, so stayed in that corner, was able to blink out, find one for his woes, and ultimately gets traded out. But that's all you're trying to do in this situation, right? Keep it close if you know you're going to go down. Try to take one with you. That is the ultimate best case scenario. Bumsu, just the demon in the night, just appearing out of the shadows to take your life. 26-19 with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. The Screenshotters started off a little shaky, but they're looking strong once again.
Yeah, ever since Xborg lost their lead, they've only gained 7 kills. In the meantime, NFT Screenshotters, they've exploded beyond that, though. 30 kills that they're on the cusp on now. Nevd is hiding away, it may seem. Looking to find those shots. Dax is pushing in, very aggressive, and he does take down Nevd, but again, nothing but the revolvers we've seen for the majority of these teams. The sniper rifle don't get to have as much often as a power up here, but Bumsu's going high for the sky, reaching for the stars, looking to find the reconnaissance down below, does spot out at least one, but he managed to get away. Nevd trying to play off their life. I believe the last one alive before the respawns. Can't find much impact, but it allows Bumsu to pick up yet another power up.
I love that coordination there. Of course, you saw Bumsu just rotating, and you might have been wondering, why is he going this way? He coordinates with his teammate through the teleporter and is able to clean up that kill. This is why the NFT Screenshotters are at a 12-point lead in this point in time. Just ridiculous what they've been doing to Export Quadra, but this is exactly what we wanted to see. The progression of the movement throughout the day, and what a follow-up from All Guy there. Connects on a shot with Bumsu, and then the smoke grenade to top things off.
Looks like we may have another power up in the hands of Bumsu, just trying to collect them all like Infinity Stones. Don't know which one of that may have been. That could have been the grenade launcher. Sniper rifle still in the hand of Bumsu, though. Hasn't found as much impact compared to others like Triscast and All Guy. Dax, though, picking up a lot more of the slack from last game, has found a lot more impact, but possibly through the teleporter, trying to find the shot, does take down Triscast in the process.
Nah.
Really nice to see. The tracking on Bumsu's unbelievable, but Triscast does respawn in what could very well be the immediate death of themselves again, but before that could happen, does take down All Guy in the process and does allow those respawns for NFT Screenshotters to have less bodies on the board.
What a shot, man. This is what
Beautiful shot.
That sniper is just by far my favorite. But I'm also a big fan of the katana as he's impulsing in, and this is exactly what we mean. We were talking about this earlier. Once the games start getting closer towards the end, we might start seeing some BMs come out from either side. Dax just finding one with the katana. You love to see it, and it looks like they've got a 3-man hit squad with the katanas just on a mission here to try and find some frags.
It looks like we have another player not moving around, Triss. Oh no, and Neved.
Yeah, it looks like, you know, the team morale might just be low as the time does tick down. NFT screenshotters finishing that one out 45-24. And of course, the little bit of BM at the end, you love to see it. That sort of domination kind of warrants it, right? Starting that game in a deficit, they came all the way back to 2-0 the competition there. And with that, they'll be moving forward, man.
Yeah, it was a slow trickle, I suppose, for Xborg at the very end. Cool Guy Chris leaves, and then other people leave, and it just made things a lot more difficult once that lead was taken back again. But it was a great start, though, from Xborg. But fortunately, Single Elim, we won't be seeing much of them anymore, Jim. But I gotta say, we predicted it. Every single winning team we've seen so far has just gotten better and better when it comes to their gunplay and their movement.
It's so good to watch, and of course, like you said, dude, this is only we had 256 teams sign up, and we are working our way up that bracket. So things are just going to get spicier and spicier throughout the day. And of course, we do want to shout out our sponsors for making this happen. Of course, Fractal, they are the people behind this tournament today. It's the Fractal Cup, ladies and gents. It's a marketplace for gaming NFTs, durable assets that let you do something inside the gaming universe. So their mission is to create an open platform for the free exchange of digital goods, and they're doing this by partnering with the best of the best in gaming companies, launching NFTs, and building tools that help them reach their customers at scale.
Absolutely. And the Fractal, EVIO is also browser-based, right? I mean, if you want to get in on the action too, you want to join for a future tournament, why not sign up for it, right? You have the chance to be part of technology for the future, and if you sign up, you can play on a variety of different maps outside the one that you're going to see for this tournament, and there's so many different weapons on top of the ones that we've seen already. There's plenty more in development as well. I'm excited for this game, Jim. I think there'll be plenty of more cups to come, plenty of more tournaments, and hopefully a lot of people in the Twitch chat right now will sign up for the next one, and we'll have even crazier competition.
Absolutely. And the thing about this game too is it just scratches that itch, right? There's like Call of Duty, there's like Overwatch, Quake, and all these other games that have elements of this game, but this really takes the movement, the resources, and the kind of scrappiness of the arena team deathmatch genre, puts it all together, and plus you can pay to play to earn, right? So you're getting actual Solana per kill, per time invested into the actual game. So if you're a player that knows they're good and wants to compete against some of the best in the world, make sure you head on over to EVIO and get in on the action, because it is a doozy. And if you want to make a name for yourself, now is the time, ladies and gents. So with that said, I think we are about to head to a short break as we progress, get the players ready for the next match, and we continue on through this tournament. Keg, any words before we head to a small ad break here?
More movement, more nades. That's all I want to see.
Love to see it. And with that, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Justin Kahn, one of the founders of Fractal. Previously, I co-founded a small, up-and-coming, underground live streaming platform called Twitch. Twitch changed everything. Aside from bringing the world hot tub streams, poggers, chat, and epic gamer moments, it also unlocked an entire industry for gaming content. No one saw it coming. We've come pretty far since I strapped a camera to my head and live streamed my life. Well, maybe not that far. Games are growing bigger and faster than ever thanks to in-game assets like cosmetic skins and items. Last year, developers generated over 35 billion in microtransactions alone. But what if I told you that gaming NFTs are going to be way, way bigger? What if I told you that the power of Web3 is going to unlock the gaming economy on a scale we've never seen before? What if you could tell your mom that all the hours you spent grinding mounts in WoW aren't a waste of your life, and have that actually be true? That's why we built Fractal. Because at the end of the day, we're all gaming and crypto degens. I'm here to answer one question. What the fuck is Fractal? Tighten your chin straps. I'm about to take you on a magical journey through the Fractalverse, through our marketplace, launchpad, and Discord server. Fractal is the premier NFT marketplace for gaming NFTs. What makes Fractal so special is that we're laser focused on building for games and their biggest fans. We're currently on the Solana blockchain, but we'll be looking to expand to other chains pretty soon, so keep watching the space. On our homepage, you'll be able to see information about upcoming mints, playable demos, trending games, and recent sales on the marketplace. Browse through the games we partner with in the Games tab. You'll be able to explore all available listings, sort by price, attributes, rarity, and more filters. Sort from low to high if you're a pleb, and sort from high to low if you're a baller. Sort by rarity, and then cry when you realize you can't afford that mythic item. It's important to do your research before purchasing any assets. Make sure that it's a project, founding team, and vision that you actually want to support. Now this is where the minting magic happens. The Fractal Launchpad is where we directly help games launch their mints. You can think of it like Kickstarter for Web3 games. This is how fans, that's you guys, can support games in fulfilling their vision while getting early access to assets that will be usable in games when they launch. You can view current and following mints, whitelist requirements, remaining supply, and information about projects and their teams. Once the mint countdown timer reaches 0, and provided that you're holding the right whitelist token, you'll be able to participate in the mint. When all the mints run out, you'll be able to sell your NFT on the secondary market. The Fractal NFTs are a collection of 100,000 uniquely generated snowflakes floating around the metaverse. These NFTs are going to have a ton of benefits on the Fractal marketplace, the community, as well as eventually in games when developers start building them into their games. There's a ton more information about the Fractal NFT, including factions, power levels, hidden attributes, and more at nft.fractal.is. We'll talk more about the community benefits of Fractal in a second. We can't wait for Fractal NFTs to unlock their true potential as games start kicking off and building on top of them. Now let's head over to the Fractal Discord server. This is the home of the Fractal community, our very own special snowflakes. Here's where we built a tight-knit community for gaming and blockchain enthusiasts from all over the world, aka the world's biggest ape sanctuary. So why should you join? Our Discord members get early access to updates, announcements, and alpha from the Fractal team, access to discussion channels about a variety of topics, and updates on project mints. If you're a VIP, which means you're holding a Fractal NFT and have verified in our server, you'll be eligible for exclusive giveaways, admission to events with famous guest speakers, AMAs, participation in community gaming tournaments, whitelists for mints, and much, much more. Note that some events will be exclusive for higher faction Fractal holders. Lastly, if you've been following us on Twitter @FractalWagMe, you might have come across a #ProofOfJustin. And if you're not following us on Twitter, you're not going to make it. A proof of Justin is a guaranteed stamp of approval from the Fractal team that the information released is genuine. Whenever we push a big update, announce a new mint, or launch a new community event, it will be accompanied by a short video of me while the Fractal team holds a gun to my head and makes me read off a prepared script. Please help me. Remember, if you didn't hear it from me, it's probably not true. So that's it. This has been your Fractal walkthrough. Make sure you watch this every night before you go to bed and pray to the crypto gods for alpha. Go check out our site now at fractal.is and join our Discord server to start exploring the gaming metaverse. And one more thing, make sure to type out the URL fractal.is. Don't click any links or embeds, even if they look similar. And if you don't know how to spell fractal, well, you're not going to make it. I'll see you there.
Welcome back to EVIO's Fractal Cup. My name is Keg, and I'm joined by Jim once again. We have very interesting teammates once more, Jim, and it's going to be actual esports players versus the Whelp family.
Nice. They love to see it. And of course, we are in our third round of play today. We are going all the way up to top 8. And of course, everyone here is competing for their share of $10,000, man. So we've been seeing the level of competition rise throughout the day so far. And we've only been 2 rounds in. So things are going to get nuts, Keg. I'm kind of scared.
You know what? I think we should embrace the fear. I think we should enjoy all the great gameplay that we've seen so far, because from Series 1 to Series 2, it felt like the gameplay overall just completely leveled up. And if it's a big step from Series 2 to Series 3 that we're about to have, our brains won't be able to comprehend the gameplay that we'll be able to see, Jim.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And of course, for anyone tuning in right now, it is Team Deathmatch. It's first to 50, and it's a best of 3 with a single elimination bracket all the way up to the top 8. Meaning, if you lose this best of 3, you are gone. You're out of here. But tomorrow, it will be a bit more lenient for our top 8 competitors with a double elimination bracket. And of course, everyone competing for their share of $10,000. I say that again because it's $10,000. And of course, it's brought to you by none other than Fractal Keg. Who are these people? Who's Fractal? What are they doing?
That's a really good question, Jim. The Fractal Cup is brought to you by, you'll never believe this one. Ready? Fractal. Fractal is a marketplace for gaming NFTs, durable assets that let you do something inside a gaming universe. Fractal's mission is to create an open platform for the free exchange of digital goods, and they do this by partnering with the best of gaming companies, launching NFTs and building tools that help them reach their customers at scale. Now, if you're like me, you don't know a lot about NFTs going before this tournament, it's really cool. You're able to have so much NFT integration with EVE.io, and you can show them off in game.
Exactly, and with that said, we are heading right into EV.io, and of course, if you want to hop into the action too, just go onto the website, EV.io, and you can get playing today as we're seeing the NFT screenshotters go up against actual esport players, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it's actual esport players versus, let me see,
the Whelp family.
The Whelp family, yes, exactly, and this is a much closer game than we've seen all day long, 7-5, 2 points separating these two squads, and it is just a scrap fest back and forth.
I mean, they're true to their name at least, right? You go up against actual esports players, my reaction would be, well, tournament was fun while it lasted. But honestly, so far, it's pretty dang even. The Whelp family only 5 kills behind. Actual esports players have been laying down a lot of pressure early on, but at least Whelp family are able to hold on tight a teeny tiny bit. There needs to be an adjustment pretty soon, or we could see what happened in the previous series where it just melted away for one side's favor. But the smoke grenades go down. I think this is a good option for actual esports players to escape or push up. But Whelp family are all like grouped up together. They're fighting like they're like a Roman army with their shields up, trying to push in the actual.
The phalanx has been set. Yeah, and actual esport players opening up that gap, man, up to 13-5. And that was a great set of moves there. Just trying to do a lot of damage from the long range. And of course, impulsing to get close, help with the frag grenade, and find the finishing kill. So those are mines that you see on the floor. So of course, those are just some of the bits of equipment that you can actually equip. And great movement there to go from one spot to the next. That's exactly what you love to see. And that's an impulse nade, obviously, sending you flying from the point of collision. You love to see it, man.
Let's see what Instinct can do here. He's hiding away from everybody else across the entire map. Now, he is going to use the nades to go on by, but it looks like it's almost nearly a flank. Everybody else, though, not to be seen on the board. Good for one. Instinct tries to make it 2, and he most certainly does. He eliminates the 13-year-old aim girl.
Yeah, I love that little head glitch there that he was on. That high ground was so good. Barrier protecting him. He's able to find 2. Now stuck mid-air, taking a bit of damage. Extinct still lasering them from across the map. And with his teammate Rob FPS, gonna duck down there, regen the HP, and get closer with the impulse, rather, only to find that everyone else is rotated out. Now on the lower ground, trying to duel it out. Comes out on top, but actual esport players at 23-7, man. This is looking rough and tough for the Whelp family.
That Whelp family is in, well, Whelp once again. Holding on to the back lines, they're falling away. The blast grenade comes down, and it's going to be Extinct again from above. They mow everybody down. Nezzy Fear trying to be good for 1, succeeds. Before falling, it's going to be Trips, though, and end that all. 26-9. Now, actual esports players are looking fantastic going into this, but at least the Whelp family, they found themselves the double digits. Hey, 55 is trying to find some impact here, but he goes up into the sky and unfortunately reaches the angels above, but actual esports are coming close to 30 here. Extinct is hiding away, looking to see if 13-year-old aim girl is going to push up once again, but she goes from the side. She tries to maneuver her way around, but it's Trips to go forwards and really try to find that ending impact.
Yeah, that was a great little setup there, tossing the frag across the map and then following it up with an impulse to try and close the gap. And just like that, actual esports players with a team wipe. You love to see it. 31-11, their coordination is good, their util usage is good, and they are just on point, trying to impulse there. The cooldown is not there. And just as he's about to get on that impulse, he hops on a mine and goes flying instead.
I would love to know what Extinct's like KD is right now at the end of the game, because I feel like he's been finding the most amount of impact so far. He's been able to really bring things 20 kills ahead. Nezzy Fear up again in the sky. Gets taken. Oh no, Instinct gets taken down instead. Still, though, this is a good chance for actual esports to keep climbing up those numbers. Rob and Trips good for 2 each, but still, 3.5 minutes left. Oh, thank you, Rose. In the middle of our screen, we can see Extinct's KD, 11-7. I thought it was going to be a little bit more. Trips, though, we've been seeing a little bit more off camera. It has a 3.0 KD, 18-6. Has been really laying down that line of fire.
I love this, man. 41-15. Actual esport players looking so good. They're just moving like a pack of piranhas throughout this map and just so on top of it. Util usage always coming out as soon as the nades are off cooldown. Mid-air tracking. Trips is good in the sky. If you were a duck, you should be scared. And now just sending himself plummeting into the middle of the enemy team. He has no fear, dude.
Trips is unbelievable. He's been able to get a triple kill and eliminate everybody immediately. Actual esports, though, 45-18, all because of the hands of Trips, it seems. But again, they're trying to make something work here for Whelp family, but they get mowed down again. Trips good for a double kill. 48 now, only need 2 more. And there's 3 bodies left. Oh no, but here we go. Trips again could very well end the game. Tries to find the impact on one above the mid-air tracking, like you said. Mows down 2, it's 50, and Trips again ends it with nearly a 4.0 KD.
26-7. Yeah, that's what it felt like watching that guy. Yeah, no fear Shakespeare. This man is flying across the map, ending in your face and annihilating your family. Unfortunate as it may sound, that's what happened in that game. It's just the first map of that BO3, but Trips is making a name for himself. I want to say he himself had more kills than the entire enemy team. That was a brutal game to watch.
Really, really brutal. And I mean, there was nothing fancy that came out either. It was just strict gunplay and Trips out-aiming literally everybody else in the server. That was really impressive to see, and I think if I'm on Whelp family, my only thing I would do to adjust is just target Trips. Eliminate him. Make sure he can't play the game.
And, you know, it like, that would be the game plan, but you've seen this guy, right? In the middle of us, you know, me and my teammate, we're fighting the enemy. Trips comes flying into our back line, throws a grenade into our face, and then finds all of us at once. It is kind of ridiculous what this guy's been able to do, but like you said, it's nothing that we haven't seen yet. He just executes it so much better than everyone else, and he's just putting on a clinic here with the rest of his team, opening up that fight with a team wipe for the actual esport players.
We talked about before how some of the high-impact players in these games are going for the TikToks. But, I mean, Trips is really going for the TikToks there. That's his first death, I believe, in the second game. And he's already had a monsterful amount of kills to go forwards. But looking at the Instinct, he was a big number 2 for that first match. He was able to find a lot of impact early on, but he quieted down once Trips warmed up. Oh man,
there he is again.
Going.
Yeah, like still, he's backing up. He's getting pressure put on him, but Trips somehow manages to come out on top. And Extinct and Trips going hand in hand, tracking mid-air. Trips always in the right spot to find that mid-air tracking. And that's the thing with the impulse nades, right? They're so tempting to want to use all the time and send yourself flying across the map. But once you get flying across the map, there's no way to stop your momentum. So if you have a player like Trips who's got the brain and the aim, they'll just wait for you to impulse and just track you till you die. And that's what's been happening so many times.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because the only player we've seen on Whelp family try to go for those grenade jumps has been Nez, and each time Nez has been caught out mid-air by Trips. So that gets shut down immediately. That's a whole focus of momentum that Whelp family can't take advantage of. Despite that, though, they're still doing decently well. They have 7 kills on the board, but Trips, of course, you look to your immediate left, who already has 2 with the grenade launcher this life. They're shutting down everything, and Nezzy, again, we talked about those grenades, trying to go mid-air, go for those styles, but again, there's a lot of hesitation from Whelp family. They're not looking to push forwards, instead reroute themselves around to try to get the flank around actual esports players. But it looks like they're pushing up themselves. Good opening shots there, but Trips, he's almost been caught off guard. He's down to 1 HP. The smoke grenade comes down, though. He's ensuring he can stay into safety and nobody can see him at all. One does fall, though, and it's up to Nezzy to get traded out. But Trips does fall, and this makes things into a 1v1, but Aim Girl's not able to clutch up. Oh my god, it's Trips again.
Yo, it's a little ridiculous, right? I liked what Welp was doing. They're repositioning around that back corner, which we've seen time and time again, trying to keep their distance, trying to open up the fight with a good couple of pot shots from that Deagle. But no matter what's happening, Trips is always wrapping around the obstacles, finding your back line and ending your life. They come out on top in that fight, and then Extinct and Trips once again just lighting up that kill feed, man. 21-12 with 5 minutes left on the clock.
I mean, Trips' spray control has just been fascinating. We see him go for one. I'm sure we'll see him momentarily too. He'll go for one and immediately track and click on the heads of someone in air right next to him. The flick control, unbelievable. Trips again, a double kill. One of which a grenade, the other a grenade launcher. Great to see. Into a triple, no less.
This guy is unstoppable, and those mines just providing so much util. If you can get into this corner and then mine out both the front and the left side, Welp family, they need to close that gap. They're the ones that are in the deficit. They need to get kills, so actual esport players, they can just kind of tuck in, wait for the aggression to come out, and just find these frags over and over and over again, and it's working out so well for these guys.
When Trips goes down, we see so much more tradability and such more even plays from Welp family. Trips is the single-handed factor, it feels like, that's keeping Welp family from fragging out. 33-15. It's been Extinct to find a double kill, sure, maybe even almost a triple, but Rob is there to take it instead. That being said, though, Extinct, he has his own spray control. He's good for yet another double kill, and, well, family, with these two on the board, these monsterful people, there hasn't been much impact in this mid-game.
Yeah, it's really tough, and you're trying to get some momentum back as the Welp family. You want to try and get this map control in this corner, but Extinct runs up on you, finds one. You get traded out. Okay, not bad by the dealer himself, and now going on the aggressive, leaving that bit of map control back and kind of going by himself. This is always a little bit scary, but gonna take the portal, try to take this one-on-one onto Rob FPS. Rob, will get tagged up and eliminated there. Yeah.
That's a double kill for A55. We haven't talked about A55 much. He's been a little bit slower on the leaderboard, a little bit more quieter in the server, but the impact that he's been able to find has been pretty good too. But that being said, I mean, we look at the KDs, 0.29 for A55 as well. The ones he has found have been impactful, but they've been few and far between. This has just been the actual esports show, and there's only potentially 6 more kills left in the game. 5 left now. Grenades go down again, just targeting one after another. It's up to Nezzy to run away and try to find at least one, but oh, he is good for one after all. Rob does fall, but Trips again. I want to just keep an eye on him for the rest of the game. Has that spray control, jumps up in the air, does find Aim Girl, does take them down, but A55 could be one of the last. He jumps up into the sky, takes another down, but the trade, 49. All it takes is one. In actual esports, they go 2-0.
Wow, and that's Trips ending that game at 25-6 with a 4.17 KD, dude. We need to talk about that because the recoil control, like you mentioned, was unstoppable for this guy, and he was lasering folks across the map left and right. We saw triple kills for Trips every single time in that kill feed. I don't know what that guy was on, but he's got it, man.
He had a big dose of EVIO.
Yeah, clearly, because he was tearing it up like nobody else, really looking so good. And of course, if these are actual esport players, it's showing. They've got it in the coordination, in the mechanics. It's all there, dude.
Absolutely. But we're going to say goodbye to Welp family, though. It's a single elimination bracket, and the actual esports players looking like they could be actual esports players are going to be moving on forwards. Again, we do have another section of the tournament tomorrow. We're not anywhere near done for today, but every winner we've seen so far, I want to say, yep, they're going to be in the grand finals, Jim, but I don't know. There's too many people now.
Yeah, there's so many people. It's getting kind of scary, but I would love to see Trip somewhere near the grand finals, if not even in top 8. I want to see him get destroyed by somebody that does get into top 8, because if the levels of competition are this far in between and we're only 3 rounds in, how much more can we see? You know, like, what else is there left for us to find out? Who knows? These guys have been grinding it out, and of course 256 teams have signed up for today's tournament, and $10,000 are on the line. So it's kind of ridiculous. That said, we are waiting for the next couple of matches. It looks like we're trying to get it set up and hop in. Keg, dude, what was your favorite part of that match? What did you like the most?
Trips, hello? That's
True.
a weird question to ask, Jim. I mean, it was the Trip show through and through. There was a hint of Extinct that did come in, but my god, that was so fantastic to see. Again, the spray control into flicking from one head to another, especially in air multiple times. Trips has a career in EVE.io, what can I say?
Yeah, it is scary, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's got some sort of other experience with a game like Tribes or Quake or something, just because that mid-air mobility is nuts. And what we saw from him the most was just that impulse nade to the point where the other person jumps from, so he can track them in midair, and he was just doing that so many times over and over again. So these little mind games are so good. With that said, we are getting our next match ready to roll, so it looks like we're going to take a very short break, and we'll be back right after.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you didn't miss us too much because we are finally back. Fractal Cup for EVIO is back, and my name is Keg, and I'm joined by Jim. We have more amazing, beautiful teams to cover.
Yeah, amazing, beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic, fantabulous. There's so many words that we could use to describe what we've been seeing today, but really relentless is the name of the game after that last one. We saw some stuff in that last game, just double impulse, triple kills left and right. It was ridiculous, and we're only in our 4th round of competition, Keg.
Absolutely. It's only going to get more and more intense from here, and it seems like we're just about ready to get in. Here we go. It's going to be Dynamic Crypto Gaming versus Talos X Borg. Now, both these teams we haven't seen play just yet. We don't know what to expect from either, but Raphael is early on looking to find some impact behind this other part of the map. He does find a beautiful shot mid-air, and he does end it all, but my God, I mean, already not a lot of crazy momentum, but the gunplay has been pretty nice from Raphael.
Oh, yeah, Raphael is rocking a custom skin on this Sheriff too, and of course on this Deagle rather, and they got Deagles across the board for Talos X Borg. I like their strategy. I already like what I'm seeing from Raphael, just taking these pot shots and trying to keep a distance till he can get some damage down and finds a good 3 consecutive shots there onto Shaytail, I want to say. We'll of course get the pronunciation of that name locked down as Raphael opens up
every series.
There's gotta be, you know, there's gotta be. But 6 kills down onto the board to 2 from Dynamic Crypto Gaming, and Telos just completely flips that on its head. 8-2 now.
I mean, we've barely started this map, and already Telos X Borg nearly finding double digits. I like the smoke grenades that go down. It allows the escape factor to come and happen for Dynamic Crypto, but that being said, Raphael's actually going to push up, and he gets punished for it accordingly. Kraken's good for a double kill. I love this usage of the smoke grenades, and of course, Deagle, Sheriff, it's the pistol that one hit shoots you. I mean, people are being really effective with it this game.
Yeah, a little ridiculous from Raphael. His tracking is unstoppable, and this gun is a hit scan weapon, meaning there's no projectile. You just got to line up the crosshair and try to get the shot down. Plus, if you can hit 3 body shots with this thing, it's a kill. So they're finding a lot of utility rather with this weapon in just trying to take this long range fights and staying together as a pack, picking people off from a distance. They're kind of unstoppable. 14-6 now, 15-6, and Raphael's in the mix once again, looking for more.
Absolutely. KQ's finding a lot of impact early on as well. There is one in the distance that flies away, but KQ's going to reorient over the Shotell. Shotell? I think it's Shotell.
Shotell?
Shatil?
Yeah. Shatil? I'm gonna go with Teal. I'm gonna stick with Teal for this one.
Teal? I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, Teal was caught out of the sky, and Lex is good for Donjo as well, but these have been all 1v1s. There hasn't been a big group battle like we've seen for the other series, but that may soon change with Danjo here. He's gonna push through the smoke.
And just get
but it looks like he inhales it too much.
Mine. Yeah, these mines have just been finding so much value, and of course, it makes sense when you've got so much mobility on the map. If you put these in good spots, you're gonna find this value. Now, Danjo in the back with the rifle. Oh, he had a good flank, but not gonna connect with any of those shots, and is instead forced to fall all the way back, so he doesn't leave his team in a deficit. 23-9, 4 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock.
Now, you see, Danjo learned his lesson. He's not going to push through the smokes again. He's afraid of the mine down below. He sends out a grenade instead of trying to destroy the mine and create some space, but he actually rotates out. Smoke grenades are back. His worst menace. He jumps over it, though. He doesn't want to take that risk again. He's right in the middle of the enemy base. He doesn't find any impact, though, but he does disrupt the positions a little bit for Talos, but 25-9. Damage seemingly has already been done, though we have to keep an eye on Danjo once again. He might be able to try to find some impact here. He's going to loop himself back around, and well, they're struggling to fight against any impact of KQ, who just goes for a prompt escape after taking down Chatel.
A little ridiculous. Danjo kind of playing really fast and loose. Like, you know, this setup right here, you are going straight into the enemy team with no regard for your life, bro. Raphael and KQ, we know these guys can find the frags on these Deagles, and he's gonna do it once again. This man has no regard for existing, and Lexi cleaning him up on the back, and that is a triple kill for Lexi. 32-13. The mental and emotional damage, Keg, I think has been done.
Emotional damage is definitely a very big understatement, right? Because like, it's so impactful. Like, it's destructive.
Yeah, truly.
But you know what it is too?
Yeah.
This game seems like it's a fantastic aim trainer. Like, unbelievably good. And Lex, I would love to see them play like any other game after playing this for an hour, because they must be absolutely cracked when it comes to their gunplay.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like that, Shatil trying mid-air, finds a kill with one nade, finds a second onto KQ. Great jumps there, but of course, Raphael, the Peacekeeper himself, finds the end of that spree with his Deagle, and of course KQ finding 2 more, gonna wipe the team again. 39 for Telos Export to 16 for Dynamic Crypto Gaming with 2 minutes and 55 seconds left on the clock, man.
Yeah, and Telos Export hasn't really, well, I guess up until then, they didn't really have a lot to move around for. It was Dynamic Crypto who kept pushing every single instance of play, especially Danjo, right? He would just, with no regard at all, push directly into the middle of all of Telos Exborg. Seems like, though, we might have some technical difficulties. All good, all good. I mean, let's talk about the gunplay of this game some more, right, Jim? Because it was fantastic to see. Just aim train with this game for an hour, 10 minutes, maybe even like 30 minutes, right? You'll probably be clicking heads in any other game immediately.
It's a really good feeling, and it's also super nice to see that different teams are taking different approaches, right? Specifically, what we saw from Telos Export here is that they all went and found a Deagle very early in the game so that they could play that long range and kind of pick heavy meta, and that's exactly what's working out for them throughout this entire game. They've got the aimers, they've got the aim, and they've got the first game in this best-of-3 series, going 50 kills to the enemy's 18. So that is a devastating blow. But yeah, showing us something we haven't really seen yet. This slow, calculated, Deagle-heavy approach that seems to work at any range across the map. So 50 to 18, the score speaks for itself. They've got one more chance to redeem themselves in Dynamic Crypto Gaming, but the competition is stiff, brother.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Dynamic, I like the idea. They, you know, their mental was good all the way through. They kept trying to push in, find those gunfights, try to disrupt, you know, everybody on Telos, trying to just band together, but they didn't really find that amount of impact. I really did like their gunplay, though. I think Dynamic, they found a lot of impact when they were able to have those 1v1s, and people like KQ, with pretty much just running the Deagles only, they suffered a lot in those instances. Even if sometimes they were able to trade out, it was still kind of a gambling 50-50, and it was really the only chance we've seen Dynamic find an impact on that first map.
Yeah, really ridiculous. And, you know, going into the second one, you have to kind of think to yourself, how do we stop the bleeding before it gets that bad again? And, you know, there was a little bit of time where we were talking about the emotional damage that had taken place. That was obviously large amounts of damage. You don't want to let that happen again, right? Like you talked about fortitude. Just keep it together. You can always bring it back. We saw it in our first couple of matches, right? It always got close to like a window of maybe 4 kills separating the two teams. Momentum is heavy, you know, keep your mental fortitude. Maybe you can bring it back, take it to that map 3, because you're playing for $10,000 and it's a single elimination bracket. So I can see how it would be emotionally a heavy toll, but they can do it. I believe in them. And of course, if you want to get in on the action, ev.io is where it's happening.
Absolutely. ev.io is a fantastic game so far. I've loved watching the gameplay for it, but I feel like if you're Dynamic, the whole strategy is to just disrupt and try to get better weapons than what Telos was, right? Because you mentioned it yourself, a lot of, not camping, but they were able to take advantage of those spawns of the special weapons here, and perfect example, Lex having the sniper rifle right now, something we need to see more of, but good lord, okay, Telos. Lex is doing such a great job holding onto these special weapons early on, the Deagle 2 finding so much impact early on, and Telos' strategy hasn't changed. They're just gonna hide in this small little corner again and allow Dynamic to push.
Yeah, and this is crazy. As soon as Dynamic go down, they are instantly back into the fray. 4-3. They're trying to keep the momentum and pace up because they're like, hey, we can scrap with the best of all of you, so we're not going to let down at all. But like you mentioned, Keg, they want to play for those resources. Those power-ups are the name of the game, and that's going to dictate really who comes out on top. And of course, Telos, we saw them start the map with that sniper, and of course, here they are a couple, like 1 minute later with a 4-kill lead.
Has Lex gone down yet?
I can't say.
Oh, they have. But we don't know. Yeah, that had to have been early on. Okay. So no more sniper in the hands of Lex. But that being said, though, that's not going to stop Quaken from pushing in so aggressively. Everybody else is trying to go in one by one, but the tradability is strong with every single member of Telos Export finding impact in that play.
Yeah, and once again, Dynamic Crypto Gaming getting stuck in this repeating fashion of just like, okay, we're going to double impulse onto this high ground and then get destroyed, and then we're going to do it again. But I'm glad here they're taking a moment finally to regroup with Shantiel on their team. And just as I say that, they of course go down to across the map Deagle, and of course a mine in the teleporter. That is cheesy, but of course it gets the job down. 14-5 for Telos.
This is looking so good for KQ right now. Lex, we called out early on for having fantastic plays as well, but these smoke grenades, a little bit more thought process going behind now for Shantiel. He's going to push forward, but he's in contention with Lex and the entirety of Telos Xborg. Again, Raphael has been able to be good for a double kill here. Those Deagles, again, across the map, so unbelievably strong. Telos Xborg don't have to move anywhere. They can just stay exactly where they spawn, and, well, Dynamic Crypto Gaming, they're on the wrong end of the barrel.
Wow, what a setup!
Comes by, Jim, it's looking good! TL needs to hold on tight, but no, they're good for one!
Whoa.
This is a good comeback for Dynamic Crypto Gaming. They find and wipe away all of Telos Xborg. Even if it's not double digits yet, Jim, it's a good start to be seen. If they can make it 10-19, then they most certainly do. They may have a chance to bring this back before the bleeding turns into a gushing wound again, but as I say that though, 22-10, I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's so back and forth, and we just saw like a crazy rollout from Telos. Of course, you saw the double impulse with one taking the high ground, one taking the low ground, and of course, that three-man push onto Dynamic Crypto did ultimately go to the side of Dynamic Crypto. But even though Telos went down in that one set play, they are still taking the huge lead here at 25-10 with 4 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock. They are looking good. They're looking composed. I like this a lot, and Quacken, even though he picks one off from range, the mine will be his demise. 26-11. The returns are always there.
In the time Telos Xborg have went from 19 kills this game to 26, Dynamic Crypto Gaming only got 1 kill.
Yeah.
They have not found any impact in the last minute or so. Even with all these Deagle shots going through from Telos' side, finding some impact. And again, how do you even know Quacken's there and yet locked on to another, nearly find some impact? Luckily, the escape was there for one, but Quacken's on the wrong end again. Down to 1 HP, tries to go above the map. Doesn't find the aerial ladder ability like that, though, but the damage most certainly has been done. Not a single member of Dynamic Crypto Gaming have full HP now, except for Teal. And Quacken goes down to 0.
Yeah, the smoke grenades actually finding some use here. They're breaking up those long lines of sight, because when you got aimers on both teams, it is devastating to be anywhere out in the open. Of course, Raphael just camping that revolver, and that's exactly what you want to be doing, right? You got the timers down to a science. You know exactly how many seconds are on that cooldown, so as soon as it's up, you're already on that pad and already moving towards your next target. That's some like Quake knowledge from back in the 1990s for all you Zoomers out there hopping onto this game. This is combining a bunch of different elements from a bunch of arena shooters, and still in the midst of that blink, Lexi's able to center their aim there and find the kill with a frag grenade. 35-13 for Telos now.
Aren't you a Zoomer too, Jim?
I'm like somewhere in there. Yeah, I'm like a Zoomer in between.
No, there's no chance.
Yeah.
We're the same age, aren't we?
How old are you?
23.
Yeah, we're the same age.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're really old Zoomers. We
Yeah.
get it, but I've never played Quake.
Oh, yeah,
So-
no, I'm an old man when it comes to FPS titles, unfortunately. Yeah, Quake is... That game came out before we were born, brothers, so
yeah.
that...
My dad was playing Quake.
What? Really?
Yeah, he was
That's
a cool
awesome.
gamer.
That's pretty cool, yeah, and for everyone listening, that's probably just like, wow, I feel so old now. I'm sorry that we had to do this to you, but I'm just trying to bring it, back to terms that all the audience members can relate to. And of course, if you're in the audience...
Grandpa.
Yeah, exclamation point giveaway. Get in on that giveaway. We are doing giveaways all day long in the Twitch chat, so make sure you're active, make sure you're typing, and we see you, we love you, and Telos Xborg are just running away with this game at this point, dude.
Yeah, the game's pretty much locked out already for Telos Xborg. 48-15. It's unlikely that we could see 35 kills or whatever the number is in the time that it takes at Telos Xborg to get one. 49-17 is looking fantastic, and that's gonna be a clean 2-0 for Telos Xborg against Dynamic Crypto Gaming. I like the ideas that Dynamic Crypto had. I thought they had a lot of promise at the beginning of each game, but again, whether it be a case of adaptability or even maybe just nerves calming down, Telos Xborg, they look clean and steel and concise all the way through.
It's just crazy to watch, right? Multiple people finishing with above 3.0 KDAs. I think someone had a 4.7 at some point. It's just tough, right? And we were talking about it. How do you even try to maintain a semblance of mental fortitude as this is happening to you in real time? So I don't blame them. Telos Exborg, though, fantastic showing for them. Of course, taking 2 games in very handy fashion. And of course, they'll be moving forward as it is a single elim bracket. So they've got their competition cut out for them, to say the least, man. And of course, we aren't even showing you guys all the matches that are happening, right? We had 256 teams come out. Times 3, that is around 900 competitors here today playing for $10,000. Yeah, it's a lot.
A lot of different teams, a lot of different people, and of course this wouldn't be possible without community gaming helping out setting the tournament together, right? But what if I told you, Jim, it's not just EVIO that community gaming specializes in? Right?
What?
Crazy. So community gaming has a $1,000 Fortnite Zero build battle royale coming later this month. It's free to enter. It's 2v2, so you just need one extra member for your you just need to get rid of one member for your EVIO team. And no build tournament is happening on May 14th as well. So if you grab your duo and enter, you can just go to communitygaming.io and do exactly what you see here, except for Fortnite, not EVIO.
Exactly, yeah, and if you're playing Fortnite no build, you're probably a smarter person overall. So enjoy your time with that game mode because it's a lot of fun. And of course, if you're a Halo Infinite player as well, we do have more FPS action. CG just got you covered. They've got $1,000 Halo Infinite monthly taking place on May 21st. So that is 2 weeks from today. So get your team of 4 Spartans ready and register over at communitygaming.io. and win some money, man. If you've got the chops for it, make it happen. That may also be streamed, so if you're trying to make a name for yourself, you know where to go. And of course, shout outs once again to Fractal for putting on this event at the end of the day. Of course, the Fractal Cup, brought to you by Fractal. It's a marketplace for gaming NFTs that are durable assets, letting you do anything inside a gaming universe. Fractal's mission is to create an open platform for the free exchange of digital goods. They're doing this by partnering with the best of the best gaming companies, launching NFTs and building tools that'll help them reach their customers at scale. Go find them at Fractal. And of course, shout out to Justin Can, co-founder of Twitch, making that. And of course, all these little videos have been fun too, dude. So it's been a good day so far. We are 4 rounds in, heading to our 5th, if I'm not mistaken.
I hope that's after 4.
If it isn't, I think we'd have more problems. Unfortunately, the space-time continuum would come crashing down. But we are heading all the way till our top 8. And of course, tomorrow it will culminate. Yeah, our grand finalists will be playing for 10,000 beans, Keg. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Wish I had that kind of money. But, you know, if you want to have a good game to play those other tournaments for community gaming too, a great game to have your aim training is EVIO. So if you want to join us for future tournaments as well, we'd love to have you here. It's been a great game so far. We've seen a lot of crazy gameplay, but Jim, I have a feeling that we have to go take our somewhat Zoomer / millennial nap while we wait for the next games to set up.
Yes, we will. We're going to get everything ready to rock and roll for you guys. So with that said, we're going to head to a short break and we'll be back with more of the EVIO Fractal Cup.
I think there's a profound and enduring beauty in simplicity, in clarity. When we think of the Fractal F, it's so much more than just a pink F. It's a remarkable visual design achievement. I think it truly represents a complete revolution in the way a company's story can be encapsulated in such a small but impactful way. Every detail was specifically engineered to bring the vision of Fractal to life. Everything from the shade of pink to the boldness of the lettering took us months of laborious work. We worked intensely with some of the most talented visual design minds from all over the world in order to even have a chance to pull off this ambitious feat. The result is something with a degree of elegance, beauty, and robustness that even we never dreamed of. One of the things we're most proud of here at Fractal is our immaculate attention to detail, no matter how subtle. For example, you may not have noticed that the F in the logo actually stands for Fractal. And I think that's just one of the many absolutely brilliant little details that often goes underappreciated. But we don't do things for clout. We do things because they matter. Despite everyone telling us it couldn't be done, we persevered and managed to pull it off. Fractal is all about letting quality speak for itself and pushing beyond the limits of what we thought was possible. What we achieved here, I don't think anyone has really done before. This is what Web3 is all about, and we're leading the charge. Okay. Pretty good?
Yes, you really deadpan the good ones that matter.
All right.
Well, I hope you didn't miss us too much. We're finally back again. I believe the last series of today. My name is Keg, and I'm joined by Jim once again. And let me tell you, we have even more interesting names this time. It's Crunkage versus Hyperforms. I'm sure at this point I'm saying Crunkage wrong too.
You know, that one at least looks phonetically sound, so we can proceed. So. Yeah, no, it's been great. Great levels of competition all throughout today, and of course, we are now entering our round of 16, Keg. It's so exciting, man. So exciting.
Absolutely. We're getting to the very end of day one, but there are 2 days of the Fractal Cup. Now, you might be wondering if you're just tuning in, what the heck is the Fractal Cup? We got you. We'll explain it. The Fractal Cup is brought to you by Fractal. And Fractal is the marketplace for gaming NFTs, which are durable assets that let you do something inside the gaming universe. Now, Fractal's mission is to create an open platform for the free exchange of digital goods, and they do this by partnering with the best of gaming companies and launching NFTs to build tools that help them reach their customers at scale. Which means in-game, you can buy NFTs and show them off against enemy teams, and believe me, if you're anything like the pro players we've seen in these games so far, you'll have a wild time with your skins just decimating people.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you've ever wanted to flex your multidisciplinary, your multi-FPS prowess, this is the game to do it, right? We've got aspects of games like Quake, Halo, Overwatch, and all the rest incorporated in this super accessible. It's browser-based, titled called EV.io. It's play to earn. It's a first-person shooter with 15 different maps, 20 different weapons, 5 game modes, and like we said, tight gunplay. What makes it unique, though, is that every time a player actually gets a kill with a linked account, they receive some Solana. So you can head on over to EV.io right now to start playing, or you could keep watching and make sure you type an exclamation point in the giveaway, because we're going to be doing, exclamation point giveaway in the chat, because we'll be doing giveaways all day long today and tomorrow, so you don't want to miss it at all. Okay, it's been crazy. We've been seeing ramping levels of skill as the day has progressed, and of course tomorrow is our top 8 bonanza. What are you expecting heading into our round of 16 now?
If we see trips going into tomorrow, we expect chaos. But in this final matchup today, I'm not really too sure what to expect. I think we've seen a big range, a big spectrum, if you will, of a lot of different playstyles that have worked really well and really not so well between a lot of different teams. And right away, though, Hyperforms are proving to be true to their name, hyperforming all over the place, having such a strong lead by, 4 kills now over Crunkage.
Yeah, and we're seeing some real fast movement come out from Hyperforms, whereas previously we saw this kind of methodical running around the map with the hand cannons and the deagles trying to do some damage. Here we're seeing Hyperforms just run down the enemy team, but Crunkage responding just as quick with 3 quick ones to make it a 5-6 game. This is anybody's title.
Look at that little dash up that we had seen up before. I wasn't sure what player it was, but they were able to disrupt their line of sight against a lot of the teams so well. They were able to avoid quite a bit with movement there. There is a nade in front of the teleporter. It's not going to go off, but it does make sure no one can rotate out. That being said, though, look at Kong Sinus again. Trying to find some ground fire, looking above, but there's actually a big, gigantic catapult over from Kabut. Looking over to go for a mini flank. He's able to succeed onto one. He doesn't quite find the other. Nice. Everybody else is at a trade fuss, though, and Kabut's good for a second. But all at the same time, even if the scoreline is a 5 kill difference, Jim, Crunkage is still putting in a lot of effort here.
Yeah, a lot of effort, and just like we saw earlier, they closed that gap in the span of 15 seconds. So even though it's 15-9, it's only 2 team wipes, right? That could happen in the blink of an eye, and just like that, 2 kills have already been put on the board. 16-11, Crunkage looking to close that gap. What great tracking mid-air there, 12-16. One more team wipe, and Crunkage are back in the game. Hyperforms, though, starting off this second one, taking one and returning one, 17-13. They're looking to regroup here. Impulse nade, trying to get the power up. You always want that. Finds an SMG there, and now wrapping around towards the middle. Nade's gonna go out, and instead they're gonna slow it down. Hyperform 17-14. Where can they find their next pick? And it looks like it's gonna be down the middle across the map, Keg. Opening it up once again, 18-15. It's a close game, 2 points.
It is really close, and oh my, beautiful double kill there with the hand cannon as well. Things are collapsing a little bit more for Hyperforms. They had such a strong lead, but they haven't been able to clutch up in the mid game so far. It's been the slowest one we've seen. Both these teams, they've gone themselves at least 4 rounds into the tournament. They've been able to prove themselves so far, and it's the last game for day one. They need to make sure it counts so they can move on to day number 2, whether it is an elimination bracket, and they have a chance for a second chance, but there's no second chances here. There's only 2, maybe potentially 3 maps that we can see in this final series right now. It's a mow down once again. Great gunplay. It's going to be already the fall. Alfie, excuse me, the fall. But the trade from M2, he goes underway all the same. 20-23. Nothing so far, but the shots go through and more gunplay to come by. Everybody's going down at once. There's no survivors at all.
Yeah, and that mine we've been seeing placed outside of that TP time and time again with just slightly different placement to mix it up every single time has been finding so much value. And those little high-pitched noises that you hear after those nades get tossed, those are flashbang nades. So there's flashes, there's smokes, there's actual frag grenades, and there's impulse nades. So impulses send you flying across the map, frag grenades do damage, smokes obviously put up a smoke, and a flash blinds your opponent and deafens them momentarily. So lots of util being used from both teams, and not for a moment have either of them let up, and it's still only a 2-kill game.
Oh, Niramino loses their own life in the process, taking out Alfie. You're completely right, Jim. This is the most amount of utility we have seen used to be on the kill feed this entire tournament so far, and it's working out well. Do you think tomorrow we're going to see more of these kind of grenade mine kills rather than just, you know, hand cannons everywhere?
You know, that's a really interesting question, because I think it depends on the team that we see make it, right? If we see another squad pull up with 3 deagles in hand, taking their time across the map, those mines just might be useless. But if you've got a squad like Crunkage or Hyperforms where both of these teams like running it down, man, those mines and smokes are going to be a nuisance. So really, we're gonna have to see who comes out on top here, because it's still only a 2-kill game after 5 minutes have passed on the clock.
I know, it's unbelievably even so far between both teams. I really like this. I want to highlight Eska for a second, because a triple kill now with the Deagle has been unbelievable from him, and he hasn't been able to let up just yet. I hope once SK goes down, hopefully maybe in this 1v3, we can see on the leaderboard what the KD's looking like, because so far, so much impact. 16-14? I'm gonna be real with you, Jim. I really thought it would be a bigger KD than that.
And you know, it's really interesting to see from the side of Crunkage, they do have a more even split across their team, whereas Hyperforms are a little top heavy. So where Crunkage are working better together as a squad, Hyperforms are a little top heavy, and with 2 minutes and 35 seconds left on the clock, this and less than 10 kills needed for both squads, this is anybody's game, and that's a huge pick, but still a 3-kill gap. Whoa! Mid-air with, no, this guy is nuts! And he's about to find a third. This guy is crazy.
Again.
These guys are nuts. 1 kill separating these two. 3 kills for Hyperforms, and now it's a tied game. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock. 3 kills until this match is over. Hyperforms keeping their distance. Crunkage as well. They want to re-up on their health before they do anything here. That is so unlucky. Gonna go down. The suicide doesn't count towards the scoreboard though, and Crunkage taking the lead for the very first time in this match with 2 kills left before the game is over. And now it has slowed down tremendously, because all that's needed is one more fight, Keg.
All that's needed is one more fight. You're absolutely right, Jim. The sprays go through for the top tower. 48-48. A minute and a half left on the clock. Now what we can see is more sprays going through. There we go. The aggressive push coming from Kabut, but Kabut falls in the process. Crunkage only need one more to bring it to their own. A slow start for the team, but they bring it out for the first map of potentially 3 for the final series today. And Eska, I mean, we talked about, what was it, like 16-13 before? Now 24-15. Eska absolutely popped off.
Yeah, that man turned it up when his team needed him most. The Avatar this time did not disappear, but instead came into full form. That was the first real comeback we've seen all day long. They had been scrapping from 3 points, 4 points behind, all the way up until 48, man. Like, what tenacity to bring it all the way back and then win on top of that. But I think the player you mentioned, Eski, I don't know how you pronounce that name, those back-to-back triple and quad kills with that Deagle saved the game for them.
And that's probably something we can expect to see tomorrow too, right? We should be able to see a lot more of those very big, impactful kill streaks come by, and that could be the singular difference for a lot of teams, either even today, like we just saw, or going into tomorrow. It's going to be very tense and very quick. But we're just about ready to go into map number 2. We are waiting for all the players to get ready, and I think the pressure's on SK right now, Jim. We have to see if SK can double it back, go for very big, impactful, long kill streaks again, or if not, we might go to map 3.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, when we looked at the scoreboard as well, the most interesting thing to me was that on the side of Crunkage, it was a little bit more even across the team, right? It was spread out a little bit more in terms of kills, meaning that we're working a little bit better off of each other, trading those kills out, and that's what really needed to happen if you want to come back from a deficit. You can't just be going in, dying, finding one, dying, finding one. You need to stick together, find 2, 3, 4 in a row, or just have that star player like Eskage just come out and find that many on a killing spree. So really good stuff. Hopefully we can get into a map 2, and then maybe we can get into a map 3, because this was the closest match we've had all day long.
Absolutely. Of course, when you normally have like that first map be fairly close, there is sometimes that mental tilt that can come by about coming so close and then losing it out. I really hope that doesn't get to either team, because they played so unbelievably well on both sides that I hope that scoreline can be just as close as it was before.
Yeah, honestly, like, that's what you want to see, right? And especially as a team that's been playing in that deficit, like, holy, their momentum must be riding high. But for Hyperforms, like you said, don't let it get in your head, because it was that close of a game. It's anybody's match, and if anyone can do it, it's you guys once again. So let's hop back into it. Crunkage taking the first kill in this match and then tying things up 2-2, and an impulse to get right into the thick of it. Crunkage finally take the lead there, and just like that, it's tied back up once again.
Oh, Kabut has so much damage applied onto themselves. In fact, the majority of Hyperforms do. That being said, though, Hyperforms like to take the early leads in the early game of each map. That being said, though, Crunkage, they found themselves to tie up a lot quicker than they did in map number 1. And even though they did ultimately end up winning, they had a lot more consistency in the mid to late game. Now it's still even, though. 7-8, and the Hyperforms barely inch out a lead. It's not too late for either team, though. Anything could possibly happen here. Still almost 7 minutes left on the board. A lot slower than we had seen too by this point in map number 1 too, Jim.
That's
Every
the biggest
team
thing
knows
here
what's at
for
stake.
sure. Exactly, right. And they're scanning the horizons. They know that both of these teams can track, and there is a lot on the line. It's a single elimination bracket. This is the last match of our day today. So Crunkage, they are trying to play this for their tournament life, and Hyperforms, they want to take this to a map 3.
Oh, look at that great nade bounce into a double kill. Eska, of course. Who else but Eska? Beautiful to be seen. And there's a weapon on the board that we haven't seen a whole lot of yet from Eska previously, was the hand cannon. A lot of Deagle plays have come by, but he's back to the Deagle once again. Found a lot of impact with the super powered pistol before, and it looks like he might be grabbing something again. I believe that might be the hand cannon now. I'm not too sure, but regardless though, picking up everything across everywhere else. Needs to clear out some space, and there it is, the big chunky boy itself. Gonna go in, tries to find the one shot, can't find the TikTok clip, and he's forced to back away.
And just like that, it's a 2-kill game once again. Crunkage off the back of a wonderful set play. You saw that frag grenade followed up by a double impulse by the rest of his teammates to close out that team fight, but Hyperforms sticking it out, playing the marathon game, and it's 17-17. It's tied up once again. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Hyperforms back in the lead. It's only a 1-kill game, and like you said earlier, Keg, it's much slower. They're playing these tighter angles, playing these head glitches, and trying to find so much value there, but instead, Eskage from mid-air with the help of M2RK taking back the lead 20-19. You love to see it, man. This is the closest set we've had all day.
The end of game 1 came down to a 2-kill difference for Crunkage to take the lead, take the victory in that first match. And now that 1-kill difference between Crunkage and Hyperforms could spell the end of the series or bring us to a third. Crunkage, again, playing slower, do have the snipers in hand. They were good to eliminate one. It's still going to be Eska. Not able to find too much. Kabet actually finds a double kill trade there. It's beautiful to see, but so much health has been removed off the red team's board that M2, he might be able to find a triple kill here. He's going to back away, though. Eska good for 1, does get traded out post-mortem from Kabet, but regardless, though, M2 is putting so much pressure fire on and allowing everyone else to succeed. Neramino and Eska good for 2, and they're still trying to run away with this lead, but Hyperforms are down again by only 2 kills.
Sometimes I see these guys do things that I'm just like, what the heck is happening? Because you saw that, right? M2RK impulses, yeah, he impulses straight up, and instead of getting punished for it, he's able to come out on top because his teammate was ready. So those comms were on point, 26 to 26. It's still anybody's game, even though we keep seeing these swings in these team fights, right? Get 2, find 2, and there it is, a back and forth for 27 on the board. Can they return for 28th? Hyperform's on the hunt now, trying to stay back here. Necromino down to 1 HP, but he's going to live. And they're just rotating around this map and playing it so well, sticking together as a 3. Consini's taking a lot of damage from across the map, stays out of the line of sight while they find 1, 29 to 7, 30 to 27 as he gets lasered by Neramino across the map, but still a 2-point game. It's so back and forth, and of course, fighting for these resources is essential. You can't let S-Gage go and get this hand cannon all the time because we know this guy is a nuisance with it.
Just so utterly dominant there. Another one for Eska. Beautiful to see.
Connects
again,
there, yeah.
We talked about the 2-kill difference. How about nearly 10 now for Crunkage? It's trench warfare between both teams, and neither one of them have been able to get past no man's land. It's Crunkage that get a little bit closer, 38 to 30 now. Hyperforms found some more impact in that team fight, but as long as more and more keep going down, Hyperforms can find themselves, well, true to back Hyperform. That being said, though, separated away, majority of Crunkage aren't together at the moment. One separated out, and Eska's taking a wealth of damage. Neramino's going to go on a solo journey by themselves. Look to find some more impact across, go for the blast of the nades, and it looks like they had a little bit of errors towards the middle, but it actually brought them back down to safety. They're able to rotate back out, play with their team, and see what happens next, because the rest of Hyperforms, they're going to group back up and look for the big assault, the one that could end the whole game.
That was a great cross-map kill, closing that gap down to 5. Hyperforms still at 5. They get returned by M2RK, but finding these little windows of opportunity is exactly how Hyperforms is going to tie things back up as they bring it down to 4, and they look to bring it down to 3. They need to keep playing these windows and then pounce afterwards. So Hyperforms, they're struggling, but they're still clawing their way up that ladder. But Crunkage are just finding the kills that they need to stay that safe distance away. 5 kills separating these two great squads with 1 minute and 45 seconds left on the clock.
42 now, 43, 7 more potentially to end this series and move on to tomorrow for the top 8. Things are looking good again for Crunkage. I've been saying that time and so many other times before, but look at this though. M2 gonna push up, may have a great chance for a flank here up against everybody on Hyperforms. This could end the game. He pushes up though, he's good for 1, he catches him off guard, can't tell who that was, but it's Alfie the Fall. Make that a double kill for M2. Can he find the 3rd? He might be able to lock and seal the series away, but that last one escapes. Alfie and Consinus do respawn. A lot of damage applied though to the red team. Hyperforms, they have to play off their lives.
This is the scariest moment too, because Hyperforms know what is riding on the line, and just like that, Cobalt's able to find 2, bring down to 4 kills, trying to maintain some map pressure on the teleporter itself, but Neramino brings us to 47th. Still 5 kills separating these two teams, and Alfie blinks out, but will inevitably go down. Consini's returns, still a 5-kill game, but Crunkage at 48. They need 2 more with 40 seconds left on the clock. Where are they going to find it? Consini's down to Neramino, finds 1. And he's able to get out of there. 45 to 48. 30 seconds left on the clock. Yeah, I can't even imagine how hard their hearts must be beating right now.
Absolutely. All day, prepared for this moment. 20 seconds left. Crunkage only need 2 more kills. The timer not stopping for anybody. Only goes down. Oh, but there we go. The one-tap wonder. The hand cannon comes by across the map. Misses both shots. A 3rd doesn't connect. But it's Combat instead to find 1 more. Crunkage are playing so slow. 8 seconds left. They're delaying the timer. They don't want to give Hyperforms a chance to clutch up.
And they just need to live.
3 seconds left. They're puppy dog guarding, and they have to
they're tying it.
But it's a tie.
There's
and they
no
have
way.
to do it again.
There's no way. They tied at the last possible second. And you think to yourself there too, right? S-Gage is playing that teleporter. He's playing the long-range fight. But we've seen this guy do so much work in the clutch situations that you almost think like, man, if he was in the fray, they might have just won the whole thing. But instead, 48 to 48. I don't even know what happens in that situation. What is the ruling?
I believe they just replay the map like the map never happened.
That is crazy. I mean, God, that's crazy. The last
We're
possible
speechless.
second, man. Speechless is the right word for that.
I mean, I gotta say, that was a really good play from Hyperforms. They still put on that pressure. They tried to go long range, but on Crunkage, I think, you know, from a team perspective, that might be the only time they've really kind of fumbled in this entire series. They played too slow. They got nervous at the end. They've had that dominant, aggressive feature. They've had the confidence to go for all these team-wide fights, but when it almost tied up and they thought they had that lead, they misplayed the timer, and they got the tie up against them instead. Hopefully, though, Crunkage, they go on with that same confidence going to the next game. If they're able to just put the pedal directly to the metal from the very first second to the last, I don't think they'll have an issue tying this up or bringing this 2-0.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like, as long as they don't get back in their heads like that and start outthinking themselves, then they might just have this game in the bag. But we're going to have to see how it goes. Hyperform is really showing that they've got the chops to put it up against the best of the best in the world at this point, playing for their chance in the top 8 of competition tomorrow and playing for a chance at $10,000. So there's a lot on the line, and they want to be the ones to be there.
It's a lot of money, right?
That's a lot of money, man.
And you know what separates them out from getting that money? Right now, just 50 kills.
Yeah, just 50 kills.
Just 50. That's all you need for a lot of money. For some of these people, that could be life-changing money.
Let's see if they can find the metal in themselves to try and keep this level of competition up as Hyperforms takes an early lead here, just splitting it up by 2. And of course, we're a minute down and the kill counter is even lower than before as both teams are really zoning in for this level of competition.
Hyperforms, it seems like they're playing with nothing left to lose. They know they're already down a map, and they have to push in double time in order to be able to tie things up 1-1. But to say they're doing well would be an understatement yet again. 9-5 now. Make that the first time double digits now for Hyperforms in this next match. They're looking really good for these team fights, and even though it's starting to go more in Crunkage's favor, I mean, Hyperforms, they had a strong start, but this is where Crunkage usually find their adaptability. These gunfights, though, going back and forth, it's but the fall, and M2 does get the clutch up instead. Long range, though, has had a lot less impact than before. Look how much damage has been applied to Hyperforms. They're backing off, and they want to play for the reheal.
Yeah, it was really scrappy, really back and forth, and you couldn't tell what was happening, but here we go. We got the grenade launcher in hand, spamming towards the TP. Of course, anybody that tries to enter that is not going to have a good time. So really denying a lot of the map with that. And of course, once you have that TP locked down, you can start impulsing towards the enemy team because they can't get out. They're stuck between a rock and an explosive place. 9-12, Hyperform still in the lead. Big team fight coming down. Hyperforms on the back, looking for a flank on a Naramino, finding 2. Consini's looking good, and that is a 3rd big lead there.
We haven't talked about Consignus very much either, but he just got a triple kill and really helped Hyperform solidify their lead. Really nice job. Hasn't gone for so many mobile plays like the others have on his team, but my God, Kabut as well. We didn't talk about him a whole lot in that first match either, but he just got another triple kill. Things are looking pretty, well, hyper for Hyperforms, and Crunkage, they're having a hard time finding their footing except for Eska, who's good for a triple kill themselves. They put down the mine as well to cover the teleport. Up in the sky, good for another Alfie Falls. Could be a 5th, no. Instead, it goes into the favor of Kabut to clean it up.
Yeah, what a back and forth. But of course, if this is the laser rifle we were talking about earlier, this thing, for a lack of a better word, it lasers. And so what you're going to be seeing him do is taking these crouch jumps and just nailing people from up in the sky. Ooh, doing lots of damage. But of course, you do need your teammate to try and impulse on top of it once you get that hit to try and capitalize. Kabut finding 1 on the left side, M2RK. Now Naramino locked down, the rest of the team going on the aggressive. Kabut finding 2 there, and this 3-man hit squad is so good from Hyperforms.
So good, so good, so good. Hyperforms, though, have a beautiful lead. 24-16 now over Crunkage. And again, Crunkage came so close, but there was a tied game last. They could have been good for the series had they only gotten 1 more. They're feeling the pain now, though.
let's see how they play this. They're waiting on the cooldown timers for the actual power-ups, and so they're taking the space, locking down the TP, trying to deny any sort of nades that would come through, taking a little bit of an aggressive push here, because if you're on the power-up itself, you see it's at the bottom of this valley. So if you're sitting on the actual power-up, you're going to get dunked on from the high ground. So what they do is try to clear out that space, go back, pick up the power-up, and now they're rotating back towards the left side, of course. Ooh! With a sniper across the map doing a lot of damage, but not finding a pick there. Now they're trying to close the gap and capitalize on that, and just like that, hand cannon doing lots of damage and fights going back and forth, but Hyperform still at a 9-point lead here. Make that 10.
With the potential. Holy. We haven't seen a lot of impact with the laser rifle. I know it does a lot of damage, but you definitely need something else to follow up. You said the impulse grenades, and I completely agree, but here we are again, Alfie trying to go from behind a macro-wide flank against the rest of Crunkage, but it's actually M2 to discover the plot right now, but it's Neramino to fall all the same. And again, though, we're back to Consinus. He's hiding away. He's playing for the heal of himself. But in the air, the hand cannon range supreme. Doesn't find an impact, though. Tried to find the TikTok plays. Still looking to see, though, what SK can find, though. Does set out the mine from behind just in case. Good for one, but now trying to just impulse away, jump around, just trying to clear out some space. Has found one headshot so far, but Kabut on the other side does fall and have the trade of Neramino. That means it could be a 2v2. M2 playing with SK now, trying to make their way towards Alfie and the rest. But again, with Neramino on the other side, he's traded out once again. This means a 2v3 assault, and it's not going to go well for Green Team at all. SK, though, I stand corrected. They wipe out the whole squad.
Yeah, it's really so crazy to watch. After they're able to find one shot with that hand cannon at distance, they know we have to capitalize on it. So you see these double pulses come out, these double blinks, and just trying to close that gap so instantaneously. Now with the laser gun in hand, finds one and is out of there, bro. Out of there. And I love this playstyle from Crunkage because they need to close that gap, and with a minute and 45 seconds left on the clock, they don't really have a lot of time.
They're not going to make this easy, though. Even in these disadvantaged situations, Crunkage have been able to find a lot of impact when Hyperforms come close. But long range has been more of a struggle. Speaking of which, though, a good trade, but at what cost? Alfie falls. Another one, though, for Consinus. It's a back and forth again. No tradability. It's allowing Crunkage to send up the numbers even more. Only a 5-kill difference now between the two teams.
Scary, scary. Caught in between a rock and a hard place. Tries to get Blink out of there, but does instead get caught out into the open. And now Crunkage still just lacking by 7 kills. Hyperforms showing that, hey, we're here to play. We've maintained this lead the entirety of the game through. But like we saw it in the round previous, anything can happen. And now with 6 kills separating these two teams, 55 seconds left on the clock. Crunkage, Neramino, trying to close the distance here. M2RK and SK finding 2. There's Neramino for the 3rd. That's 1 wipe, and they're only 3 kills away. 40 seconds left on the clock. Make that 2.
A 2-kill difference. Where have I seen this before? Hyperforms deleted out of existence. Neramino, beautiful work. 40 to 43. 30 seconds left again. We've been here before. So little time left on the clock. You just don't want to even it up again. You don't want the tie of your Crunkage, but you need to get 2 more. You might be forced in the tie to have a 3rd chance to bring it home again. 18 seconds left. 1 deletion. It's tied up 43 to 43. 15 seconds left. Crunkage, they made a mistake. They played safe last time. Now they can play aggressive and take the risk to bring it to a 2-0. The final seconds. No gunfights at all. No. It's going to look like another tie, but Hyperforms, the very last second, find one and tie it up.
Yeah, there it is, Kabut. You see him putting the team on his back. 21-13, really stepping up when the world needed him most. And there we have it, ladies and gents. We've got your first BO3. We're going to map 3. I'm so excited, man. After a tied game, to bring it all the way back and win by 1 point to take us to game 3. Hyperforms don't want to get knocked out of this tournament, dude.
It was a difference of 2 kills. Then 0 kills into a reset of a 1 kill difference again. There's only potentially one, well, there's no potential. There's only 1 match left in this series unless it ties up again. And I just hope we don't get another tie because this will be the longest best of 3 ever. But it's been working out really well for both teams. At Crunkage, those very last minutes of the game have been a big struggle for the team. They need to gain an early lead and not have to play pickup against Hyperforms in order to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And, you know, we talked about this before, mental fortitude. You just played 3 games, and now you're in the best of 3, your map 3. This is where it all comes down to. And, you know, for Hyperforms at the end there was just a couple of moments where they're chasing that final member of Crunkage down a hallway with their sheriff. They finally hit that shot and get the 1 kill. They've got to be riding that momentum high, and, you know, their hearts must be beating. And tensions must be rising as we are finally entering map 3, 0-0. Winner takes all here, and we'll proceed to tomorrow's top 8.
Now remember again, you're right, there's a whole other day of competition tomorrow, and that's going to be the top 8 of all the best 256 teams who have applied to duke it out. I wonder, Jim, do you think we're going to see more best of 3s tomorrow have potentially even more than one kind of tied game?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of other teams will also look at these games for reference and study them. Like, hey, what happens when other teams get down to time? Do they start running away? Do they start playing aggressive? And then you're really gonna have to come up with some strats. Like, hey, once we hit 45, we are going, you know, pedal to the metal. We are going all in and not going to let up on that aggression, because we've seen time and time again, as the time ticks down, things get a little sloppy here and there, and you give up that 1 kill that can lead you to this situation in a map 3 where you're now losing by 7 points.
Absolutely, but this is pretty part of the course for Crunkage early on. We've seen them almost every single series start off with a big deficit, and they tie it up towards the mid-game. It's the beginning and the ending. The both pieces of the bread of the sandwich, right, have been a big struggle for Crunkage, but it's that meaty center that they've been able to dominate and really excel at. But if Hyperforms again, they have that strong advantage here for the early game. If they can find a potential tiebreaker at the very last seconds again, they'd be good to move on to tomorrow, Jim.
And just like you mentioned, bro, like, Crunkage always starts off kind of slow, and now it's a 2-kill game. Like, where do they find this within themselves to pull out 6 in a row just in the middle of this match? Like, I cannot believe these guys. And now it's a 1-kill game with 6 minutes left on the clock. Crunkage are here, man. Both these teams performing at such a high level. We're already tied back up, and Crunkage taking the lead for the first time in this match.
It truly is an Eska diff right now. I look at the kill feed, I see a slew of different people for Crunkage, but it's mostly all in between Eska finding another impactful kill. That being said, though, Homeboy is, what, 5-4? Not, again, the KD I feel like is a lot stronger on the board than we see in-game, but the impact has most certainly been there. 16-17 now, Hyperforms, they do return again with their lead, and it looks like, though, it was a big push-up from Crunkage, and they got punished for it heavily, but there we go. Eska again! 3 different types of utility! 3 different kills!
That's the map awareness, man. We were talking about it all day long. Using those TPs to your advantage, finds a mine kill, finds a nade kill, walks through with the sheriff in hand and finds a third, and now SK goes for the crazy mid-air shot. Doesn't find it that time, but Crunkage at a 3-kill lead, they're feeling pretty good. And now Hyperforms, how do they respond? They're gonna need to find 1 team wipe and then some to try and take the lead here. But just like that, Kabut finds 2, making it a 1-kill game. Yo, this is intense.
This is what happened in game number 1. Crunkage took a lead in the mid-game, and it tied up nearly at the very end. It was that 2-kill difference for Crunkage that brought them that lead. Hyperforms, they haven't been able to find much impact again. They get taken down as soon as they spawn. Early nade, though, to create some damage, maybe move some pieces around. It's good for M2, but M2 is going to opt to push up, and he does find some early contact, but M2, again, he's looking down to protect Naramino, helps out a lot, goes up on top of the island with everybody else, but Nira, again, so good about the double kills. Trying to keep this score alive for Crunkage to move on to the top 8.
Looking good, man. Naramino just in the right place at the right time. Capitalize on your teammates' damage and just laser them down with that rifle. You know, doesn't do a lot of individual damage, and that's a good plan right there. Alfie suiciding there to not give the point to the enemy team and get the respawn of his own. A lot of presence of mind. You got to give it to them, but Crunkage still at a 7-point lead here. Alfie, off the back of that suicide, did find 1, but then gets returned on, so it's staying pretty even of a gap here. Both teams taking a moment now to try and get resources. Sheriff in hand. Connects across the map. What a shot, man.
Great shot. Came so close to finding another kill. Not quite, though. Crunkage, though, 36-27, the biggest lead we have seen in quite some time, has been able to dominate over Hyperforms. And Hyperforms, again, they've been dialing themselves back, allowing Crunkage to push, but unlike what's happened the last, I guess, 3 matches now, it hasn't been the same outcome. That's usually Hyperforms' bread and butter, to find those even ties against Crunkage, but this time, it's more so 1-by-1, more teleporter play. And I'm afraid if you have to deal with Crunkage in these teleporters, it usually doesn't end very well. The grenade goes through, and possibly from the behind of Hyperforms to watch out for. They're going to push through, and Eska, oh my god, he was able to almost find one, but instead it's Niramino for the trade.
Yeah, I like what they're doing here, trying to draw the attention of the enemy team to one side and then TP behind them, try and cause a commotion, but of course the team is just ready. Their brains are functioning at levels we cannot possibly comprehend, finding a 41st and a 42nd frag with just 8 kills, separating them and top 8. Crunkage are looking good, but Hyperforms have been in this spot before. They're familiar with being in the deficit. 44-35. Hyperforms need to win this fight if they want a fighting chance. 10 kills separate the 2 teams, and 5 kills separate Crunkage from top 8 placement.
Potentially 4 left. 14 if you're Hyperforms. 2 minutes though. The best situation we've seen Crunkage so far this entire series. All it takes is a few more to tie up, not even tie it up, but to break the tie, bring it to 50-39. But again, so many gunfights going through everywhere. And it's looking like, again, as the score gets closer and closer, it's 50 seemingly out of nowhere. And my God, was it close again, but Crunkage this time, they redeem themselves and they go on to the top 8 tomorrow.
Beautifully done by Crunkage. What a series, giving us a tied map, and of course taking us to our first map 3 of the day. And of course you see the scoreboard itself, a nice spread across the side of Crunkage. And of course, you know, you gotta shout out Hyperform for even making it that far, bringing us our best match of the day by far with our first real comeback, our first side map, and our first map 3 keg. That was awesome.
Oh man, Jim, absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy for all the matches we had seen. But you know what the cool thing about having all those matches go unbelievably close in the kill counter is?
What is it?
So the cool thing about EVIO is that every time you play and you're logged in, you get a lot more kills. So the way it works is that it's EVIO is a browser-based play-to-earn first-person shooter, right? It's got 15 maps, 20 different weapons, which, believe me, we had seen plenty of in that last series, 5 game modes, and of course, very tight gameplay. But again, the Solana that you earn from getting all of these different kills, some of these members must be rich right now, because that was such crazy gameplay.
Yeah, it really great stuff. And of course, the level of competition has leveled up exponentially throughout the day. And we're not even in top 8 yet, ladies and gents.
No.
So tomorrow, we're going to see the best of the best of EV.io competition playing in double elim brackets throughout the day, playing for their share of $10,000 freaking dollars. So like Keg mentioned, head on over to ev.io if you want to get involved. And of course, shout outs to Fractal putting on the Fractal Cup. They're a marketplace for gaming NFTs, which are durable assets that let you do something inside the gaming universe. Fractal's mission is to create an open platform for the free exchange of digital goods. They've been doing this by partnering with the best of the best in gaming companies, launching NFTs, and building the tools that help them reach their customers at scale. So shout outs to everyone for making it happen. And of course, community gaming. Keg, you want to take that one?
You know what? I'll do my best to do it, Jim. If you like community gaming, there's a lot of different tournaments that happen with community gaming as well. As much as we love EVIO, there's also so much more action with community gaming in the future. So if you do enjoy them, there's a $1,000 Fortnite Zero Build Battle Royale coming later this month, and it's free to enter. So if you have an EV team, you can just knock one of your members out and go for the 2v2s if you want to, or you can do the No Build tournament happening on May 14th. So if you grab your duo and enter, just go to Community Gaming.io and sign up, and maybe we can cast you there too.
Yeah, a lot of fun today. Of course, the action is just beginning. Tomorrow, we've got top 8 and leading all the way into the grand finals. So if you liked what you saw today in this hybrid of Halo and Overwatch and Quake and all these other FPS titles put together in a browser-based, free-to-play shooter, head on over to EVIO. And of course, tune in again tomorrow. My name's Jim Basco. That's Keg. Any last words before we head out for the night today?
If it's anything like the craziest we had seen today, top 8 tomorrow is going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, It's gonna be nuts, to say the least. I don't even know what we're gonna be in store for, because we just saw like 8 different metas take place, so many different play styles. But that's the coolest thing about this. Grab a group of 3 people, sign up for some tournaments, and play to earn, ladies and gents. So with that said, that's been a show from us for today. We will see you again tomorrow, and maybe out on the battlefields. You'll see me, Keg, and our producer Rose out on EVIO tonight. We're gonna be kicking some butt, so come and get it, kids. Grr. I don't know. Grr. But yeah, it's been a blast. Thank you guys so much for watching and for tuning in. Of course, tune in back tomorrow. I'm Jim Basco, that's Keg, and of course on production, Rose, and we'll see you guys all tomorrow.